Falcons, Burmese Ghouls, Wolves, any of them could have a really good game, really good hot drop in this first rondo and be set for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we had, what, 90 somewhat eliminations during that rondo game,
yes.
right? If we have an even bigger hot drop with even more teams involved here, maybe we could get and breach the 100 elimination game on rondo, which would be magnificent. They're going on some of these later on clips on these replays. I know, Weibo, you want to talk about them a little bit later on here, Niptura, but that Miramar, the lack of scouting, the first one in particular, second one was good, but the first one, that did hinder their chances a little bit.
I'm so confused by that. I thought we knew by now that road is just you shall not pass road at any circumstance if the zone goes there. Yeah, because there's cliffs and all sorts, and no, don't do that. But anyway, we move on, right? We just hope that doesn't happen again. We move on, and we look forward to the next day as we see some epic shots coming through here. Influence Rage, another team jukes that we would like to see a tiny bit more from. They're 2 points away from the top two. They had a great day yesterday, but I just want to see just a teeny bit more, just a little bit more of that consistency, because I feel like as well they had some pretty rough games as well yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you got to clutch it up here and now. I think these first few games are going to be the big deciding factor of who makes it and who doesn't, Max, especially when it comes to Rondo. To reiterate, right? We saw a crazy amount of hot drops on day one. For me personally, looking at these leaderboards, Max, from 10th place on down, what do you have to lose at this point? Why wouldn't you send 3 players down to the center of the map and try your best to soak up some crazy points to make a crazy comeback happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, fully agreed. I think that if you're currently at the bottom of the rankings, this rondo is going to be setting the pace for the entirety of this second day of Last Chance. And you know what? You have so many possible eliminations in the Ox Factory. Maybe you want to try and get involved in that conversation, try and snatch it away. Or maybe you can do like Team Flash, right, Niptura, which actually didn't get involved in the fight early on. They third-partied Neox after the fight kind of cooled off and just picked up a few eliminations here and there. So actually, if Team Flash go for a similar approach here, you got to be very careful because your back is never going to be safe going into Neox Factory.
No, that's a really good point, especially when you've just come off of a hot drop. Yes, you might have a lot of loot, but at the same time, you're wounded, you're trying to bandage up, you need a little bit of time to reset. And if a team like Flash timed that really, really well, that could spell the end of any of the teams that survived the hot drop. So it is really nice to see some teams be opportunistic in that way, and I wonder if we'll see more of that going into this first map.
But we've got to keep in mind, Ultra Ego won the first rondo of yesterday. They're currently in the lead, healthy lead, 58 points currently. If they do it again, Hot Jukes, if we see another chicken dinner with maybe a few more eliminations this time on rondo, they're going to look so comfortable, so confident for the rest of today. So Ultra Ego, actually, this game, not really involved in that hot drop in Neox. And if they do get that chicken dinner, boy oh boy, Ultra Ego are going to be looking so bloody good for these 6 matches.
Well, it could be a wrap in game number 1. I'm not even kidding. I mean, we've seen so many points get soaked up here in Rondo. I mean, it's possible. It's possible, right? With how crazy it's going to be, I'll tell you what, there's 2 teams in particular that I'm really keeping my eyes on here, right? It's Burmese Ghouls and Weibo Gaming. You know that come Aaron Gale time. Weibo's definitely going to bring it back.
I feel like we're trying to just steal Blank's vibe at this point. We're saying the Burmese Ghouls too much with that deep voice. But no, Burmese Ghouls, you know what? I'm actually so impressed with this team because this is a team that I feel like some people had mild expectations with going into this PMGC season. And I feel like Niptura, they've just been getting so much more confident as every single game happens. And you can really see on Arango, as you already said right there, Hodgix, they're looking so powerful. So, hey, Burmese Ghouls, keeping the hopes of Myanmar alive once again and making it to the grand finals would be one hell of an achievement.
It really would, and I feel like as well this is one of the good things of actually going through every single stage, right? Because if they had gone straight to finals, I don't think they would have done as well as if they can go through Last Chance and go to finals that way, because the confidence we've seen out of them growing and just them getting far more comfortable has been really, really nice. Put that upside of Weibo. I feel like actually this is the flip side, is Weibo have struggled having to go through all of the stages. I feel like, honestly, we were talking about it, right? It's like, what is going on with them? Because they're super inconsistent, but when they have a good game, they have a really good game. Yeah. They show us how smart they can really be. And I really honestly feel like it's a second guessing of the IGL, because the players can rally as long as he makes those decisions really quickly. But you can see me where the decisions come really, really late. And even though the execution of those decisions is good, it's either the wrong decision or they just come way too late. So I really hope that Weibo are able to actually just kind of rally a little bit and get on with it and get those decisions done. Go with your gut.
I know what the issue is with Weibo, guys. I've cracked the code. Is the fact that they only get second place. The Sook curse is real. They only get second place. Weibo, no, if they can get a win, Hot Jukes, they're qualifying. They need to break the curse right now in the last chance.
Oh, let's see if they could do it. But you know what, guys? Before we get started, we got to give a big thank you, of course, to the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory. Empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and hashtag outplay the rest on the global stage. Thank you, Infinix, everybody putting this together. It's been a long road to get here, and we only got 6 more matches left. And you know, we've been talking about it from the get-go here, how important these first few games is, Max, because if we see a couple teams create such a large point gap, it is going to demoralize this lobby towards these last few games entirely, right? So one thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing the adaptability of squads, right? I don't want to just see teams like play the normal game and hope for the best. I want to see them adjust their performance to try and get top 2, because it's top 2 or nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, actually, I'm really happy you bring up that topic about adaptability. One team that I want to see adapt a little bit more in a significant fashion is Loops. Great first day, right? Currently in 4th position. But they're all about the eliminations. And you know what? Eliminations alone aren't going to carry you to victory. They're not going to punch your ticket for the grand finals. Loops, more late game finishes. Top 5s would just make me so happy for Loops. I mean, Rafina was an MVP right yesterday, which is unexpected for me, at least, Niptura. So Loops, if we see them increase that survival time just a little bit more and keep fragging out the way they were doing in day 1, I think top 2 is definitely in the cards for this squad.
I really agree with that. I want to say as well, you know, another team I'm kind of looking for is going to be sort of Inner Circle and Wolves. Falcons as well, they get an honorable mention here because Falcons and Wolves, both of them had a really great Miramar in one of the Miramars, but the rest of the games, we didn't see that much from either of the teams, and so I'd like to see just a bit more presence. I think that's something I keep repeating over the stages, but it's true, right? You want to see this presence in these games in the late stages, because it's not necessarily aggression that we're looking for, because we don't want you to be rash with it. We don't want you to just go in guns blazing and that's it, right? We want you to have presence. It's aggression in how you challenge teams and how you maneuver teams and how you set yourself up in the circle. It's not always aggression, meaning just pushing teams. So for me, presence is a huge factor, and so far we haven't seen that much from Falcons, Wolves, or Inner Circle, which is crazy to say because Inner Circle, I feel, when they play very well, has some of the best presence we've seen globally. So for me to have to say, hey, Inner Circle, you need to step up the presence game here is really strange for me to say, but it's true, especially in this final day.
I mean, actually, you bring up a few of those teams. Inner Circle in the Hot Drop in Neox. Team Falcons also in the Hot Drop in Neox, right? So those are teams that they could be, unfortunately, still not present after that Rondo game, depending on how it goes. Of course, hopefully they'll go for the 3-1 split. You know what? I want to quickly talk about Team Falcons. They've had an amazing Miramar. Sure, not quite a win because Wolves just stole it away in a very odd fashion, but who could predict that, right? The circle kind of screwed them over. But a second place, 16 eliminations, and Narvalo said it during the interview, right? It was off the back of a very early pivot from their western drop right into the northern side of Los Leones. And by doing so, they don't lose players. And this has been my biggest gripe with this team, Niptra, that they keep losing just one player, sometimes 2 players on that transition. I don't know if it's an IGLing issue or if there's like, they just have a small amount of scouting done during the rotations, but losing those players hurt them so much that the one time they have the full squad in the late game finish, Niptura, is their biggest game of the tournament. Come on, Falcons, we know you can do it. More of that, please.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's something we saw from other teams, right? Like Virtus Pro comes to mind, for instance, that kept losing players early on. And then when they had all 4, they were actually doing really, really well. It's the same story for Falcons. And it would be really nice to maybe just adjust some of those rotations, or maybe don't go for those risky rotations. Maybe rotate a little bit more compactly, speedily, you know, go quickly to zone. I think if you hesitate a little too much in this lobby, it's got this weird balance of of, you know, playing for position and also being very aggressive this lobby. It's very different from the group red that we saw, for instance. So I feel like maybe just having those quicker rotations and rotating a little bit more together would be much better for them.
Yeah, well, we definitely need to see those little adjustments, right? Especially from the top 9 teams, because they could definitely make it into top 2. Now, I just do want to preface this, right? When it comes to the 10th place team Alliance, they're currently 25 points behind second. So for 10th place on down, this is do or die, match number 1, right? If we don't see a 10th place team, Max, on down win this rondo, it's over for them, right?
Yeah, you want to, again, it's dependent on, do you want to try and just get into the late game and get a win and a lot of placement points, or do you want to go full crazy aggro mode and go into Neox? I know I sound like a broken record. I mention Neox every 2 seconds, but it is going to be a huge opening factor for the second day. And if a team gets, you could literally have a team that get 10 plus points in minute 5, which is wild to imagine.
You absolutely could. It's going to be a crazy thing to see if a team can pull it out the bag. The other thing we don't want to see very quickly is, you know, teams actually targeting those solos on the 3-1 split and Rondo, right? That would be huge, and it'd be a great strat for certain teams. And so I think a lot of these teams are going to have to really think about that going into Neox.
Well, let's see what's going to happen, folks. First game of the last day of Last Chance, it's Rondo. Are we going to see the craziest hot drop in esports history? Or will these teams let fate decide? John Allen and Blake, let's see.
Oh, it's feeling toasty today. Hot Jukes over on the desk. Thank you so much for leading us in. Guys, the analyzing is done for now. We'll be getting back into it. Maybe they need to analyze how I can say that one better. But Test Track, Neox Factory. Let's analyze that. I promise I can say that word. It's like... sound like I'm trying to say pineapple in various European languages. Oh dear. Oh, I think there
you go. You were actually absolved of all of that. You were absolved of all of that. Yeah, you were absolved of all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
It just sounded like you were fine with yourself. What happened there was basically like a small raccoon came to my room and just like wrapped himself around the bike. It was not my fault.
Let's talk about the hot drop because it's happening right now. We can talk about your raccoon later because Arcred drop it onto Neox Factory. They're popping off on the rooftops already. It is going to stay toasty here. Ramsey's around the corner, finds the first with the auto shotty as well. Pops the reload, looks for more, but is set down across the way. Hardboy wants to control the angle, may be able to find the defense on his teammates. Loops are here as well. Weibo wants to play the top of the tables. All desperate for that Ascension and Snowix. 2 more rounds, 1 more shell. Not gonna matter. Pick up a resupply there. Is able to finish off 2 points early for the Boars. But Weibo in a circle. Geeke, Loops all sit around this area.
You can see though the flash, they didn't care for it. They did not care for it. So it was still a pretty big hot drop. Not the hugest we've seen, but still a lot of teams dropping here. And it seems to be teams and squads that really want to shake things up a little bit. Weibo's definitely an interesting one. I think Weibo is probably the more interesting out of all of that. It's very rare to see Weibo actually drop towards Neox. So a little bit of extra aggression from this team is curious. Now, yesterday, if they were watching back the games, they would have seen that the Flash actually got quite a lot of points off the back of Neox Factory, just as like a solo or a duo who were just holding out players as they attempted to leave from Neox. They are now just down to Order, but I think that if you want anyone, it will be Order.
Yeah, and they'll be getting themselves back up very, very quickly. Off on the recall. Meanwhile, Wolves over on the northwest side of all of this chaos, close towards Test Track. Doran on the inside. No elims yet, but a knock found. Not going to find the rest, though. And that's going to be Geeke can get back up to 3. The Wolves denied an opportunity to earn some points in a circle, losing another. The Boars doing pretty well so far on this hot drop blank. They've got 4 elims on the cards. And Seven actually has highlighted something very interesting about this hot drop. He's put in our group chat. the 7WG, by the way. We were in a group chat together. No big deal. But the Falcons, they've backed off this hot drop.
Yeah, they opted not to go for it. They headed down towards the southeast side, towards Tuling. I mean, to be fair, the Falcons have been losing this multiple times. So why risk it? Try and just play that late game. I think that the Burmese Ghouls, right, they're in 6th place. They're doing fantastically well from that position. How to find this Elim? That's the real question. But I think Falcons need to play more like the Burmese Ghouls. I think that you play to your strength, and Burmese Ghouls' strength is that as a 4, they're really good. They can close out end games. I think Falcons are kind of similar. Burmese Ghouls, you don't see them hot dropping anyone because I don't think that they're extremely confident in their 4v4s and in closed spaces. But when it comes to controlling area, I think they love to do that. So yeah, I think for the Burmese Ghouls, they make the right choice there to continue playing like that. And Falcons, if they are able to emulate, they'll do well off the back of it.
That will hopefully be able to see them a little bit closer. They had that massive game at the end of yesterday on their Miramar. Did come second in the end. This Noki goes down to a spray. Ragnarok able to win it out. Geek doing pretty well. Boars doing pretty well. Teams like our teams towards the bottom profiting the most right now, but with Loops on 1, oh dear, they're stuck in this hot drop. Blank, this is nasty. Loops in 3rd place right now, but they've got a lot of Geek bearing down upon them. They've overcommitted potentially to this hot drop.
Yeah, it's a big overcommit. It's probably come from the fact that a player on the outside got knocked down. And this is the risk you run a lot of times. Even if you go for the 3-1, there's a risk that your player on an outpost does get taken out. And on Neox Factory, I think a lot of teams are kind of willing and understanding that likely all 3 of their members are going to die in that location. It's very rare you win that out. And if you do, I think you also understand that you also got a little bit lucky to win that out.
The challenge in a circle. Are going to win it though. They are still as 4, and actually IQ still stepping in the Neox Factory. The rest of IQ, they're all the way out on the northwest side. Blank, they've got a recall out to the northwest side of the circle, so it is just IQ seeing how many points he can get. Team Flash also racking up 1 or 2 against Influence Rage. This is after a rotate as well. The recalls might be a little bit shabby, but Team Flash going to keep themselves nice and topped up. But Gen.G around the corner. In the meantime, though, it's still, in my mind, all about what Loops are going to do here, with Vitinho wanting to stay alive, probably more than anyone else right now on these hot drops. Weibo?
Yeah, that is crazy. I was going to say that Alter Ego fall into the trap of letting Rosemary die first again, but there is an immediate clap back from the rest of the squad over towards Weibo, which gets a little bit awkward now, right? Where you have order, and I think that the rest of the players, that they were quickly rezzed actually on Weibo's side. Not sure about Alter Ego though. I think because they diverted, they are struggling now.
A nade in from Vitinho, again looking for order. Finding these last few stragglers in Neox Factory would be brilliant. He's able to find another. The rest of his team are now back. Where did that recall come from? Okay, sneaking that one on through. Loop's able to stay up as 4, and that is huge news for them. We're going to cut over towards the Gen.G fight with Team Flash right now. Both teams have got an outpost, not committed to this fight, but Claws coming in actually commits Gen.G fully to this engagement. With just tops remaining, though, you've got to think this is probably going to go well for them. They may lose 1, they may lose 2. But they can't afford to do so. Tops hopping around on the pagoda. Looking for the shots down the stairs. It's lined up, and it will be Tops going down. Flash with 1 on the outside. They're going to send out for those recalls.
Bozo can see if he can catch a player lacking, maybe being a little bit lazy on the hold there. Rest of the Flash are going to get their players back in action. Already got a boatload of points. Taking down the majority of Influence Rage, not before they got that recall off. That's all the way towards the eastern side of the map, though, so a little bit of a longer rotate for Influence Rage because of that. I do think that the Flash would like to reclaim this position, and I think that the players are much closer than Gen.G maybe assumes.
They are back up for Team Flash.
Correct.
Staying as 4. Vitinho, we're back on board with him, and he's still got his teammates, but he wants to keep scrapping it out. He's on 4 elims already. Well, The team is on 4 elims already, and the nade should bring them up to 5. I don't think Geeky are going to be able to get this res. It's quite a long path, and the cross is treacherous. He's out in the open, though. Oh, just about makes the cross, has to hit the deck right behind it, but crawls away. Doesn't quite connect to the cover. And a little bit overzealous on the run out there. A nice pickup for Geeky.
There's a great fight going on, by the way. Is that the Flash actually do find the shots over towards Gen G, and Gen G were caught slacking there. In the meantime, the rest of Flash are also taking a fight with Papra Supermassive. So the Flash is putting up points left, right, and center, currently in second place. So definitely trying to redeem themselves from their group red performance, because they did perform very well. I think that they slowed down quite a bit towards the end of that tournament, but I also do feel bad for them on that final game where Weibo essentially sees them, realizes that's their only hope, and they were suddenly injected with this warrior's will to take down the Flash. Ended up being E-Arena to get ahead of both of them just because of how focused Weibo was on taking down the Flash.
A team that's closest to getting eliminated right now is Papra Supermassive. With the circle shifting southwest, Kamikaze is trapped between inner circle and boards. He is probably going to be able to make it out, but it's going to be dangerous on this northwestern edge. One player left, and he's darting out for a recall. In the meantime, Team Flash still hunting down. Zeus draws short. The momentum on the vehicle not quite there. Loops again, getting those recalls on board, but Kamikaze for Papra Supermassive yet to pull his team back to their full 4. Not too sure what he's diverting for. Maybe worried there's a player camping out on that recall, or wants to go for a different one, potentially on the western side. In the meantime, Zia still under pressure. Will go down. Sprays from claws, and neither team can get away from one another right now on the northeast side.
Yeah, definitely struggling. I mean, it's kind of a back and forth here where Gen G's able to catch the Flash, and then suddenly the Flash is able to catch Gen G. Both of them not quite respecting one another enough. Bose doesn't quite find the first shot, so have to back off. There's a nice tag on the side of the car there. Will immediately go for the flush, and that's the correct play. Does limit the Flash's potential. There was also a shot down the hill, which leaves Zeus high and dry, and now Win needs to send out very quickly. If they can get ahead of this, though, they can get over towards Bamboo and actually pick themselves up the recall in front of Gen G. But they've got to be quick.
That's what they're doing right now. Win is already on his way. Gen G not quite close enough to stop it. EK, they've got 6 elims so far, Blank. As the recalls do come through for Papra Supermassive. They were branching out to the recall just northwest of Yaotin. And they will play in there rather than playing up from the northwest side. I suppose you know there's a lot of teams around that area. You want to rotate further south. Why not do it as one? Save the damage from the blue zone for the rest of your roster. Playing on that side. Circle. On your screens, you could see there's the recalls for Team Flash on the northeast side. And Gen G do need to be careful on their step-in. Will not be free of danger for them. We'll see where we're going to go. A little bit closer to the stadium. Alliance in the middle. Alter Ego. Control. A recall beacon inside the zone. That is a pretty powerful spot.
It's great for Alter Ego, and it's going to be great for picking up stragglers as well. There isn't all that many in this squad at the moment. We have 64 players, which I know, very surprising considering the amount of limbs we've seen go through on our screens. Weibo is rotating off towards the western side of this ridgeline. Fair enough to them. And the Burmese ghouls once again taking advantage of this big old stone pillar. Just seems to be like a lot of teams are starting to realize how strong these things are. Very good at isolating sightlines. You can also wrap around it multiple times. The only trouble is that sometimes you open up sightlines from other squads, but it can be a very fantastic teamfight tool. Looks like they are backing off. Godspeed does have an anchor off towards the eastern side of the circle. It is in the fields. To be fair, I've not really talked about this too much, but we are heading over towards the fields, by the way. We still have Stadium in play over on that north side, which has a recall beacon right in the center of it. It's a bit awkward to get in there to get that done as a solo. But right now, yeah, I think the fields are such a tremendously awkward area to play. Alter Ego is attempting to contain more than, I think it's 2 compounds right there. I believe it's 2 compounds that are holding around the recall beacon. So they have the majority of control. This could be a great game for Alter Ego.
I mean, and what a time to have it as well, with the top 2 spots so hotly contested. Remember, there's only 6 matches to play today. Getting a massive dent in your tally would be brilliant. That is what teams will be looking for. Big matches here. And for a lot of teams towards the bottom, right? Obviously, with Alter Ego being a center point, we're talking about them. But for a lot of teams towards the bottom, this is the last chance to come up big in a match and jump up to even give yourself an opportunity to chase towards the top 2 spots. I mean, for Geeky, 6 elims at the start. It's great, but they need to get, 20 pointers here in order to jump back into competition. It's just not happening in my eyes, though. It's really not. And on the east side, they're going to have a tough time pushing past both Burmese Ghouls and Team Flash.
I think my biggest issue right now is that the Flash has 6 elims, Ulteriga has 4, and a strong spot. And the Flash, I feel like they're not slowing down, they're not stopping. They're starting to cut ahead. Even the teams that I think would be chasing is like Weibo, for instance, and they've got that strong position over towards the western side. Great shots from Flash again. Bose takes down Kevin. Geeky kind of backed off that position on the northeast side now. Definitely struggling. Even Burmese Ghouls getting involved over towards Geeky. But yeah, I think the Flash is just getting ahead. And as our Alter Ego, I think Alter Ego maybe even gets the chicken dinner in this game. In which case, it becomes so difficult. Because even the teams that are down towards the bottom looking to chase upwards, they're not in the best spot to do it. That is rough. That's a very hard shift. But even so, Weibo in a circle, 2 teams that are towards the top of the tables anyway. I think the bottom of the tables are just sort of bowing out now.
Maybe. Geeky, though, going out with a bit of a bang against Team Flash on this one. 6 elims found. Pretty decent stuff from the hot drop and giving Team Flash a run for their money. Actually getting an elim there. Team Flash not going to be able to get a recall on this one. Rotating over the stadium feels like a bad move. And playing on as 3, not great. But 9 elims, blank. And you can't say fairer than that. We'll see if Alter Ego are able to transition into this circle, and I think that is the major change of dynamic. And actually, Falcons are ahead of the curve on this rotate. They're getting in there nice and quick. Oh, maybe into the wrong place, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're attempting to just kind of get ahead of the curve here. But for the Falcons, this was very much what I would like to call a bit of an Alter Ego push there, right? Or an inner circle push. You just send it sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work. In that case, it absolutely did not work. We're down to 1 player on a sliver of HP. It's awkward.
Arcred, Mappa Supermassive, again, 2 middle pack teams clashing at the moment. Arcred definitely in the driver's seat of this fight. Easy for Bad Boy. Ooh, takes a lot of damage from the nade, but not nearly as much as Glory. Kamikaze with the nade. Last player to stand for Mappa Supermassive. He was able to pull them all back up earlier on, but will it all be for naught against Arcred here? Easy for Bad Boy. Ramses playing the rock. Kamikaze has the info from his down teammates. There's a player up top, but he can't handle it. Too confusing. And Loops are here to party too. Easy for Bad Boy. You can't waste any time now. Loops are going to run you straight over, protect their position on the table, and try and catch up to Team Flash, who are streaking out to a lead.
Ramsey's backing off here, but is going low on the sidelines. Some great nades at the moment from Loops. But it is 9Z Globan also joining in onto this one. Alter Ego finding shots over towards the Burmese Ghouls. That's with 2 players as well. That's a really fantastic hold from Alter Ego. It's very rough for them.
Nades over the loop from 9ZG. Ravinia caught out on the smoke peak there, able to find the back of an enemy. Spray down a range with the auto shot. He turns in for more. There's an off angle. He's all a 360 spin right now, but only just about able to be handled. Remix now looking for the challenge, and Loops may be drawn short. The picture is with the Burmese Ghouls and Alter Ego on the bottom right of your screen. Is Fitin jumping on through, and Arcred able to find the last player of Loops. They will fall down. The chase is stopped short, and Arcred the ones to do so. 9ZG as well played their part. It's a lot of teams towards the tops who are straggling. It's all really up to Weibo to catch Team Flash as Alter Ego have fallen.
Yeah, Burmese Ghoul are able to get the final point. Again, I think that it's greedy. It is classic Alter Ego greed. They send a 2-2 split. They leave 2 behind over towards that building, hoping to catch players coming in. They send 2 up front to try and challenge for Weibo's position. It was too much. It was way too much for Rondo as well, it's likely by the time you get in towards this end of the game, it's going to be 4-man squads. You're not going up against 2-man squads like you would in Erangel. It's 4-man squads that will be coming in. There aren't really stragglers at this stage of the game. Yeah, usually cut out around stage 3, stage 4. When you get to this point, it's the survivors of the lobby that are coming through to battle you out. So I think for Alter Ego, there was 2 options there. There was option 1, which was to fully send it over towards Weibo, try and control that eastern side position, knowing they're likely having a split over towards the west, or you hold all 4 over towards the building on the east. They did neither. Again, it is happening too frequently now that I'd like to see. I think we've complained about it so many times. Even Alter Ego know it exists, know it's a problem. Why is it still happening?
And they still get 8 points on the match, though, Blank, and that may be enough to just keep them ticking over. The question is, how far can Weibo go? Because they are in command right now. A center position on this circle, controlling a lot of the open area in a circle with that chance as well on the western side with a decent chunk of it. I don't think Burmese Ghouls make it out. It's a question of who picks up the rest of these points. Can anyone stop Team Flash from earning double digits, going even further beyond than that, breaking their limits? On that northeast side, though, they do still have to push in, and they do, crucially, only have 3.
Still possible, though. Still very possible. I think for the Flash, the amount of times they've gone down this game, and the amount of times they've picked themselves back up again, it's actually quite admirable how far they've got into this one. And with 9 elims, no less. Weibo, though, genuinely from this spot, if they continue playing smart and playing clean, they could vault towards the top side of the table. Depends how quickly Flash get there, though.
Flash on the double digi, looking for the elims. Wolves looking for more as well. They will hold the run out from Gen G, who are eliminated. 2 knocks, but that's not really going to be capitalized on here. Inner Circle thought maybe, oh, we'll go for a third party. Team Flash actually running up into this is probably a wise decision. Wolves will still be a little bit lacking, might be the softest fight they'll find, and actually getting ahead of them is great, but the healing is going to start, and they need to be faster. They need to go a little bit quicker here, and the time is starting to run low. There's third party shots coming down from the boards as well, out to their east side. Bows waste no time. Pops is clipped on the sidelines. There's angles. There's just not going to be anything, though, for them to find, and 10 points will be what they see on their tally at the end of this one. 66 and 64, our top 2 teams sit, but Weibo looking to mount their assault.
Yeah, that's so sad for the Wolves. Like, what is Flash doing over the ruining Wolves this game? That's a straight up Virtus push. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. Weibo, on the other hand, oh my god, things just opened up in a big way for them. Like a real treasure chest right at the center of the circle. They are staring at the goal. The question is whether it's cursed or not at this point in time, because they've still got to make it through and win that chicken dinner, which seems to be a little bit of a difficulty for them.
They're on 8 elims right now. Blank puts them on 57 points, leaving them 7 points shy of Team Flash. So it is an elim extra and a second place, or a full chicken dinner that would see them over that boundary. And they are really still looking pretty solid here. You imagine they're going to be able to farm some points from Boars on the north, potentially, from Alliance on the east, maybe. Looking out on the south side, there's a hunting ground out there too, because Federal, the Lone Ranger for Influence Rage, trying to keep them in the running, as well as 9ZG, the full squad. Going to be looking for a rollout too, so points to be earned here for Weibo.
If you asked me yesterday about midway through the day, I would have told you that it's very unlikely we're seeing a second PEL team getting in towards the grand finals. But I think genuinely right now, it looks possible. Weibo's being a lot cleaner this game. Less mistakes seem to be happening here, and they are focused. They look laser focused on this match. Very, very clean fights, very clean holds on the areas that needed to be looked towards. I think right now, I like this 3-1 split they're going for. I think they understand there's a lot of teams that want to work their way through on that south side, so they can deal with that first.
Our creds, yeah, they're going to go down there. And the placement points start to kick in now. For all our lone survivors, that's potentially big news. Single points can make all the difference. Influence Rage lose their final player. We were wondering how long he was going to stay alive, and Federal will draw short in 7th place. Brazilians still next to each other on the tables. Alliance picking up another point. And again, the placements start to stack up. But Weibo yet to get another elim so far. Boars and Alliance in a bit of a deadlock, though, on the northern side. And Inner Circle could change all of this, Blank.
I mean, Inner Circle being on the west here, we haven't talked about them too much, but they hold a pretty strong position. I like that Noki's already moved up. I think Noki doesn't get enough credit on the team. I think a lot of people focus on Falak a lot. But I do think that Noki is an insane player. On a solo angle as well, he can be so tremendously problematic for a lot of squads, where he can get 1 or 2 elims before you even tag a shot onto him. So Noki being this close to Weibo does worry me a little bit.
Made over the top. And they are looking to rack up these elims up to 9 now. And a second place would draw them even. Order with the challenge. 33Z goes down. Order taken out as well by a nade. And 9ZG not going down without a fight. But Coligoat steps on a landmine there. Goes up. And Sook is able to land it. But the sprays are coming through. And Weibo have lost a player now. Inner Circle starting to take command here, Blank. Maybe it's not just one team looking to jump up into top 2 here. Inner Circle still with that chance. 2 more elims and a chicken dinner would draw them level as well.
Oh my days.
And they found Sook.
So annoying. So it's happened so much with Weibo. It's unbelievable. Where they'll just keep walking out into the same angle that they just got shot from. And it's happened too much that I will forgive it anymore. Like, this happened before, and I'm like, that's the heat of the moment. That's the heat of the moment for the boys. They're struggling. But it's just happening again and again. Funnily enough, it's happened the most versus Inner Circle as well. This is a great push from Inner Circle. Easy peasy. And like I said, Noki finds 2 before you even know it's happened. And I am proud of the boys from Inner Circle here. This is a great push. They absolutely deserve the win off the back of that. That's a nasty nade from Olio, though.
Might have been able to catch that one coming, but I think he had his eyes on the inventory there. The Weibo curse. The focus on the boxes a little bit too much, but Alliance can't push over because of IQ's position, because of the backup that sits there, and because of the Boars, keeping them crunched in. But the Boars have to move now. The blue zone's going to start to move. Havlik breaking out wide. A push forwards. The fight for the middle of the tables, trying to move up. Boars on 8 elims already, Blank. Alliance only on 3. The Boars could make a massive dent in their approach as well, with a big game here. So a lot of moving parts. And teams that were really on last chance saloon in with a shot. A big nade for Snowex to open it up. Exo pulls out wide. A nade goes high for Alliance. One goes short as well. The first knock onto Snowex is there, and they step out. Get a little bit too far forwards, though, and the burn bites them back. The Boars kept on the crunch as Jimmy bleeds out, sure, but this is a solid hold from Alliance. Boars a little bit trepidatious. Nearly finding more, but the healing desperately needed now.
I mean, this is a hell of a swing out coming through from Inner Circle as well. They are finding a lot of points off the back of this. They instantly started wrapping wide off the back, and look at that. All the points are going through to Inner Circle, and they are just shooting up the leaderboard with this one. Falak's finding that, actually finds all of them. T24 is down, but there's an immediate refrag coming through from Falak here. 16 elims on the game. Oh my goodness me, Inner Circle.
What a shutdown from Inner Circle. They controlled it so well. Weibo re-peaking too bold, and they were ready for it. They took the shots, they took them down, and they kept the pressure going. What a massive, important game for Inner Circle. That's going to push them. I think that's going to put them into the top 2. I think they will have put themselves there, and that is exactly what they wanted to find. Team Flash pushed aside. That is going to feel nasty at the top, but the race is on. 2 spots left, and that is how you make your challenge for them.
Again, for Weibo, it's just lax, though. It's just lax. You re-peak the angle on the south, even though you're getting shot from the west. Why were we doing that? It makes no sense. Like, surely you check that angle first. I really want to know what the guys in the desk thought about that game, but Inner Circle, what a way to finish things out on Rondo.
elimination chicken dinner off the rip. That is how you start the last day in the last chance. Neptura, break down this historical start for Inner Circle today.
I love this team so much, Jukes! I love Inner Circle so much for this very reason. Look at the control they had on this Inner Circle, on this final circle here, the zone. They were able to push everybody out to the zone, really careful with their angles. That 3-1 split coming in really clutch there, using IQ as their anchor point, just able to just push everybody out to that blue zone, make them panic, make them not have time to make any decisions for themselves. They were just controlling from start to finish. I love this from the Max.
I want to echo a point that Blank had earlier on in this tournament about Inner Circle, which is we were seeing Falak pop off. We were not seeing the rest of the team. T24, 6 eliminations. Noki, 3 eliminations. IQ, 3 eliminations. This is the Inner Circle we were waiting for, and they have showed up big on this Rondo game. And you know what? The good rotations, down to the recall, right? Neptura, they had the recall from T24OP next to Bailey, northwest of Rondo. And that allows them to avoid any big early to mid-game skirmishes to get control of this open area on the west of these finishing circles. Oh my goodness, like the entire setup was just so well executed, like a well-oiled machine. Yep. And they wrap it up well. Like the third parties at the end there, beautiful.
What I love so much is that how careful it all was, right? They didn't full send anything. They used the terrain to their advantage. They made sure that they were able to just get exactly what they needed without any risk themselves. And I love that from them. And I just love as well what we saw here is like they were backing off of the hot drop as well, like just well backing off, making sure that they had exactly what they needed and weren't getting too caught up in those big fights. So I really appreciate that from them, and they were able to actually be able to set up a much better game for themselves without all of that.
Yeah, I mean, this game was just amazing. You know what? I said it already. I wish we had 2 Rondos per day, man.
Oh,
These
so
matches
bad.
are so fun. I know everyone's been like, oh, we don't want Rondo in esports. And now I see everywhere people are like, yeah, Rondo is actually really fun to watch. It's actually really good. But yeah, in some of these plays, actually this Wolves push, we saw there was Genji pushing onto it, then the third party coming in from Team Flash. I love that play from Team Flash, but I mean, Hot Jukes, Wolves, that fight, not losing a single player in that engagement was literally so unexpected.
But yeah, I mean, it was so clutch for them there. It's just right there towards the end. After all that fight is said and done, they try to set her up with a circle, and Weibo just had such a beautiful position on the high ground there. 27 points, though, from Inner Circle. I'm telling you, all this team needs is to get 4 players in the final circle. And they're going to make it happen here, guys. They were in 7th place, Max-Man, before the day started. With 27 points, this is going to, like, take them to infinity and beyond. That is insane.
Yeah, the demons from Pakistan have arisen in this. Well, it's not the Gauls, but you know what? Well, I can steal that and use it for Inner Circle this one. But you know what? We're talking about the big squads at the top of the leaderboards getting points. Inner Circle, Weibo, Flash, you know, of course, some really good double-digit games. But Boar, Neptura, they were standing in 11th position before this match, 25 points. This game alone puts them in reach of a top 2 position if they keep getting good points on board. So, Boar's perfect timing to get a decent game here.
Yeah, really nice from them. Again, I mean, it goes along with the lines of what we were saying, right? That Rondo is kind of the make or break game for the rest of the day. And I really enjoy seeing Boars take advantage of that and go, listen, this is the only map that we get a second chance. You know, we get do-overs if something doesn't go quite right. We get that recall. So let's just go for it. I love to see that from the Boars. Hopefully we see that in the next few games as well. But you see the MVP, I mean, it's got to be Falak. Of course it has to be. 5 eliminations, 11, nearly 1,200 damage on his own. I mean, that just goes to show you he was farming teams left, right, and center.
Look how he's just looking into that camera right now.
I know.
He scares me. I don't want to be in the 200-meter radius of this guy, or you're dead. But you know what? We're talking about the teams that did so well, also just like Boars. I was actually very upset with 2 teams, and that was Weibo and especially Alter Ego. Sure, they got a few points on board here, Hot Jukes, but Alter Ego in particular, why are we doing this mid-game 2-2 split versus Burmese Gauls and Weibo? Commit to a fight. You know what? I genuinely don't care which one you pick. Commit to it as a full squad, and you might be able to actually make it to Weibo's position here. As Inner Circle, they take away first place in the first match on Rondo. What?
What?
What a jump!
Are you kidding me? Yeah, when I saw that 2-2 split from Alter Ego, right? I was like, this is a 30-point lead play here. You know, like if you got 30 points on the lobby, then you can kind of do that kind of thing and get away with it. But you don't got that kind of lead, and that lead is gone. See you later. You ain't even in first place anymore. Now you're the team in the hot seat. Game number 1. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Neptura, last chance. This is what it's all about.
It is. Inner Circle were in 7th place beginning today, and in one game, they've not only got to first, but they've actually got a fair bit of a lead, right? What is that for? It's 7 points. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's more than AE and Flash right now. It's more than Flash and Weibo right now. So what a game from them. I mean, we're not going to see those same kind of numbers coming in on a wrangle, but if they can get a back-to-back top 5, top 3, they're set, Max.
I think I did see there was a little bit of a point gap being created between 4th and 5th, if I'm not mistaken, like getting around 10 points. There is a bit of a cushion being built here. It's not a massive one, but it's still something sizable. But all I want, Inner Circle, don't rest on your laurels. Great that you did so big a jump here on game 1 going into first place. You're not comfortable still. We need to see, of course, a follow-up going into the Erangel matches, where Erangel for them yesterday, Neptura, they didn't get too many points on board. They got like a very low elim 3rd place with, actually, was it? No. Oh, yeah, it was the 3rd place, but it was still 10 elimination. Actually, I got that number wrong. An extra 0 there, so quite impactful. But, it's going to be tough because, look, Flash getting so many points too. Weibo getting a ton of points. Alter Ego able to at least get into the mid-game stage. Erangel is going to be do or die for some of these squads.
No, it is absolutely. Weibo as well with that, right? They did get to the top 4 and they did get a lot of eliminations. It's just that they faltered in the last bit. But again, that kind of performance is something we want to see coming into those next games. So Weibo is still a threat here for sure.
Neptura, I have a question for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
When it comes to Inner Circle here, okay, the strategy, obviously, with how behind they were, right, was go aggressive, get a ton of eliminations, win the game, right? They did exactly that for game number 1. Now they're in the lead, okay? Going into Erangel, though, what do you feel would be the best bet for Inner Circle here? Do you stay aggressive? Do you try to soak up some more points and kind of segue? Or now that you got a little bit of lead, just try to stretch to that end game and conserve and get some points? What would you do in the situation?
Honestly, I would ask them to just play exactly how they played that Rondo, because they kept to themselves. They weren't over aggressive. They were very careful. They made the decisions they made and they stuck to them. And then those angles coming out in the end game, the timing of the end game was so on point that they cannot go wrong if they just continue to do that. So just do the exact same thing would be my advice.
For Weibo in particular, I said I was also a little bit unhappy about their game. They just delayed their fight versus 90 Globen, and then Inner Circle were just able to make that push and third party it. Weibo, I want to see them be a little bit more proactive with when they pick their fights, and if they do that, I think here they could have got easily maybe even a 2nd place, but they were just not quite quick enough, Hot Jukes, to take away that podium position.
Oh, you better be quick on your feet here because there's only 5 more matches left to go. Let's get into the first Erangel of the last day of Last Chance. Let's go ahead and take it on over to our casters, John Allen and Blake.
Oh, what a mad one to kick things off. Inner Circle up in first place. We are unmuted, unleashed, and ready to rock this lobby once more. We're into Erangel for our final stretch of 3 for a lot of these teams. 14 will never see the grassy pastures again until 2026. So let's see who's going to make the most of it. Are they going to be able to hold their top spots? Is that 2nd place going to be as hotly contested as we think towards the end of the day? Only time will tell. And let's get cracking.
It's quite a few teams right now actually chasing for top 2. I'm kind of surprised by the amount of teams who are in close contention for it. Usually at this point of the day, you're starting to see at least 4 teams break away, but I still think there's around about 7 teams that can still make it in at the moment, or with a fighting chance at least. I think after our next match, match 3, we'll start counting some teams out. If I'm honest, we'll start counting some teams out. It looks like we're getting a hot drop straight away, though. It is Alter Ego immediately getting harassed here by Papazu. Massive, great spray down from Rosemary. You expect nothing less from the guy.
I mean, this is a good start for Alter Ego. This is very, very dangerous stuff for them, though, after getting pushed down to second place. You can't really afford things to go wrong for you, but it's all going right. Krypton on the window doesn't get taken down, and Papra Supermassive really suffering now. As the hop in for Krypton, he's on the chase, he's looking for more, putting pressure on. Rosemary has fallen. You do not want to let this one get flushed away. 2 players go down as well. Snake keeping things under control, but Papra Supermassive losing their players. Alter Ego fighting for their second place. Up 3 elims, and now just 1 player on the rooftops. Kamikaze, was that with the bow that he got a double knock? Does he think he's Sook? What's going on here? Kamikaze, put that one back. You're not in Weibo. I know. He's going to drop down, though. He's going to go for the rest of the fight. The spray down with the UMP. He's hopping in. He's up for the window. Snape controls it. Snape explodes at his feet, but it's not going to do the damage. And he will find it. Papra Supermassive fall, and Alter Ego cling on.
I mean, they made the right play there. Full reset, or at least attempted to. 1 player holding. Alter Ego with 4 points there. Very much needed points, but I guess a bit of a heart attack moment for them there as they dropped over towards hospital. Didn't expect to be received injuries in the operating room, but there you go. That's how it all breaks down here on Erangel. Sometimes it's quite violent, but we do have a northwest circle over towards Ruins, which is unoccupied at the moment. Papra Supermassive, they might have just stamped their ticket out. We do have an interview coming up very shortly, and I believe that it will be with IQ from Inner Circle to get a little bit of an insight into what's going on over on that squad and how they're feeling after that massive win.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I'm here joined by Falak from Inner Circle, putting up 1,100 damage, and with that performance, pushing yourself up to first place. I want to know, you guys made an adjustment in Rondo in regards to the solo player with the 3-1 split. You made sure T24 went further away. What led to that decision?
We just went to Neox so we can take some kills, and even if we die, T24 will just recall us and we will loot and belly and just rotate. And then zone favored us, and it was a very good match for us. That's it.
I mean, I wouldn't say Zone just favored you. You guys, the timing was great, especially with WBG. As I mentioned earlier, you're in first place. What can you do to keep this momentum going and maintain yourself within the top 2?
We are very confident now. We will just try to play good and continue this momentum so we can qualify for grand finals.
Inshallah, you'll be in grand finals. You got T24 performing. You're performing too. Everybody's performing. Let's see how Inner Circle can continue on the last day of Last Chance.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they profited a huge amount in those final moments, Blank. I mean, going in towards the final circles, they only had something like 2 elims on that last rondo. And they were able to rack up so many from those final fights. Really masterfully played. They played very, very passive until that point, holding their position well. But now they're on the Millie Island, and they're going to have to transition north. So get that loot on board. Get trucking, because your destiny's just across that bridge.
I mean, for Inner Circle, it's pretty free and clear right now. On the south side, no one really challenging them on Sosnovka, so an easy approach over towards the northwest. Genji are holding Western Bridge, though, so a little bit interesting there. Finished out on 7th place, I believe it was, there, showing on day 1, so it's a really big jump up after one game. Then again, I think it was roughly 27 points they got off that match, so fairly gigantic amount of points they were able to accrue. Alter Ego, a little bit of damage still on their side, but should be easily healed up. I don't really have any teams around them at the moment. Everest Circle, potentially, maybe. We'll see how it plays out. A bit worried for Alter Ego, because typically on these sorts of circles, and we head over towards Ruins, your Fields, Everest, teams do want to take splits. I think it's a frustrating one, because I think when you watch Alter Ego and they take their splits and it goes well, everyone at home is clapping. Everyone's, wow, Alter Ego, well done, well done. And we're all like, well done, nice split, nice split. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm always looking at them and being like, I don't know. Is this too greedy? It feels a little bit greedy to me. And then it works out. But then there's those clear moments where they'll do it again. And it's wrong. It's the wrong play. I think that because they are so good at the game, they can make some of these splits work out. I worry if they do make it in top 2, go to the grand finals, those splits are going to get punished so much, John.
I mean, just getting there in the first place already is going to be a monumental achievement, right? In the grand finals, the minimum prize you can earn is $25,000 in that 16th place. And if you get through from last chance, you're earning 10 or 9,500, depending on if you're first or second. So already you're nearly tripling your money, not to mention what you will have earned from Gauntlet, from group stage as well. So having a good time just getting there. But you're right, getting further in, that's even more money, right? Because the jumps do start to get pretty big. Obviously, that grand prize of $500,000 for first place in those grand finals. But we'll see. We'll see if that's something that is being purely utilized for this lobby as well, right? It could be a case of, well, we know we can't do it later, but in order to maximize this opportunity, because you need top 2, right? We're going to go for it and see what we can get done. I see right now Inner Circle looking to take eyes over towards Gen G, who are guarding them out, which feels pretty cruel for Gen G. They should be getting a move on, all things considered, towards this circle. But IQ completely knows what's going on here.
You know, I think Gen G can sit here for quite a while, honestly. I don't think there's any reason for them to push out over towards the north side. They're in the circle. They may as well hold. I think for Inner Circle right now is more of a case of trying to pick up as many meds as possible, because I think they're going to be in the blue for a little bit of time. Honestly, if I was them, I'd probably just shift over towards the eastern side and try and make that rotate. I can't imagine that's too difficult. For the Boars, they're probably not looking to hold on the eastern bridge, and I don't think they saw a lot of shoots down towards Sosnovka anyway. So yeah, I think this is definitely the right choice for them to try and shift over towards the eastern side. For Gen G, don't give them anything. And with that circle, yeah, the decision to push east makes all the more sense, because now Gen G can sit here forever.
Ooh, okay, yeah, that's definitely going to help that decision out. You're right. But the Boars, maybe? No, they're not going to be guarding that bridge, surely. In a circle. Oh, hang on a minute. They've turned around. Blank. They're moving back west. In the meantime, though, everybody who moved over to the Gatka fields is moving back down towards the south, to the hills to the southwest of Pachinki, to the mouth of Quarry on that southwest side. Beg your pardon. Getting a little bit choked up. No, I'm not. We're going down to the ridge that sits on the south of it, just north of Gen G as well. And the buildings that sit all in between. It is a little bit messy. They're going to go for it. Blank, they did turn around. Noki, and straight through the blockade. He's going to get taken down. That is a bad feeling. Decisions being a little bit uncertain on the south side. And Gen G, well, they stayed confident in theirs.
It's stage 2, guys. You don't need to make that play. It's just a categorically bad maneuver. Like, what's the upside here? Do you get it? You get one player across. You don't get shot. You also have to get all 3 of your players across. You get one player across. It's free. You can get a compound on the south side. You try and take that one on the south side of the fields. You could have got that anyway just by shifting over towards the east side. Now that Gen G sees a player is down from Inner Circle, they're like, oh, we're free and clear. They're going to Eastern Bridge. Now we can make our move. So now that's taken. This crossing over towards the east would have been fine. In fact, he was closer to you. I think there's some very weird mistakes happening right now in Last Chance. Some really weird mistakes, and it's annoying me. It is annoying me.
Well, I mean, maybe it's the nerves. Maybe it's the knowledge that you have to go big to stay up in towards the top 2, right? For Inner Circle, maybe they thought, oh,
you can't. Don't give him any excuses. No. There's no excuses for that. No excuses. No excuses.
Okay. Whoa. Okay, fair enough. Okay, right. I take it all back. They're so bad. I agree with you, Blank. You know that you said that they were so bad. You know, I just
yes, I did, and I'm stunned by that. They're in first place. You don't need to go big right now. You just need to get casual points.
Oh dear. Is there any other teams you'd like to unload on about?
No, but because that was a bad play. I've not seen any of the bad plays that I need to unload upon right now.
Well, I can't wait for the next one. I think that's going to be great fun. Weibo, on the western side. They were denied that chicken dinner. They wouldn't have been to the top 2 anyway. As you'll see, they were in 63 points there, which would have been 1 behind, of course, Team Flash on 64. But again, they are back in that. They are back still, rather, in that conversation. It's a question of getting through Influence Rage because teams still looking to keep this one rolling. The south side a little bit harder to play now. Teams moving into the hills south of Gatka. I mean, that's kind of the major feature. The hills that stretch down to the southwest of Pochinki, some of the buildings there, trying to find those compounds. It's going to be difficult. Some of the chopsticks may be occupied in just a moment too.
It is a rough circle for everyone. It's a very, very rough circle for everyone. I like Alliance's move, nice and early, over towards the center. Weibo able to find themselves a knock over there towards 90 Globen. That's over towards the western side of the circle right now. I think if Weibo can control this, they'll do absolutely fine. They have a lot of options going over towards that eastern side. Kind of like Alter Ego's rotate. They managed to wrap all the way down and then back up again through the fields. This is actually a nice play from Alter Ego. I like that a lot.
All right, we'll have to wait and see if it's going to pay off for them. Inner Circle, actually, by the way, slamming in from the east side, get past Boars, Team Flash, Gen G, and now they're onto the hill in the center of this one. So even with 3 players, they still managed to find themselves a pretty solid spot here, all things considered, playing up on the ridgelines that overlook the fields to the southwest of Pochinki, to the north of Ferry Pier. Wolves finding Arc Red. This is on a roll. Hang on a minute. Is that a solo roll up? And he's able to control it. Alliance are helping out a lot as well. I think, okay, yeah. So Arc Red looking to crash onto the Alliance position. And Igor was able to pull a point out of them. They're looking for more. Alliance still have the crossfire sight lines. And Arc Red, I mean, third partying just not enough here in last chance stages. They are having a tough time of it.
Arc Red's a good team. Arc Red is a good team. I'll stand by that they are a good team. I think that in terms of playmaking potential, they don't have it. I think that it's almost funny because a lot of the big moments from Arc Red have come off the back of another team trying to make a play and then them ruining that play by being quick. They are very opportunistic. I think that's a really good quality in any team, to be able to quickly analyze and identify where there is value to be found on the map. But what Arc Red don't do is they don't make plays. They don't make plays very often. And I think that could change. But I think the future is very bright for that team. And Uzbekistan coming into the region in a big way now, I think that they have a bright future ahead of them. Honestly, just getting to the last chance here, I do think they have a bright future ahead of them. They need to solve some of their problems, be a little bit more proactive in the circle. But other than that, I think that their gun skill is good. I think their opportunity making is good. I'd like to see some improvements elsewhere, but I think the future does look good.
I think that's the takeaway that you could probably look at for quite a few teams in this lobby as well. As we said before, you know, we'll criticize a lot of the plays that these teams make, but they're trying to make them against the best teams in the world. So sometimes it's just not going to work out, not going to go your way. And even getting to this point is a monumental achievement for everybody here. They are deserving of all the reverence that they are receiving, I'm sure. At least I hope, from their fans, from their home team, support as well. Alter Ego diverting one of the players that remains from 90 Globen. They are a little bit split and really down on their luck right now, having a very tough time. The circle shift west, and Alter Ego have the middle spot again.
And for 90 Globen, it's sort of interesting. I think they were in the... they got sort of placed in the wrong house, right? If we're going by Harry Potter, when they got placed in Group Green, because it was such an aggressive lobby, but they were much more of a Group Red type of team, in my opinion, where they make these wide ramps, they play more chess, but it was so aggressive over in Group Green, and they took advantage of that. They really did. In terms of their rotates. Here, the teams are very much willing to make smart rotations, and 9ZG is struggling to find those entryways, which they found so often in the past. Neil Zard is very lucky. He keeps taking shit down. This should finish the job. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. Loops are down, and they are starting to slip now, Blank. The Brazilians not having the best of time, but Influence Rage may be able to keep the banner flying over on the western side right now. As they still are in with a chance. They've got a compound, one of the few solid spots, but kind of crashable for me, if I'm looking at a team like Weibo, although the question is, do they want to at this stage? And actually with Gen G bearing down upon them, the ball's also pushing in. I think Weibo have bigger fish to fry right now. Sook holding the first. We'll go for the flush as well. Weibo diverting Gen G, but they're going to slam straight in for the rest of the fight. Spray downs look good. Sook is down and actually flushed away. Gen G giving them a bit of a runaround here, but 33Z with a lineup. Spray down, blitzing Gen G, putting them in the blender. They are not to play the rest of this match. They'll get the res and play on as 3 for Weibo. They're challenging. Team Flash making their move as well, up towards Inner Circle, who've been on this position for a while. IQ split apart from the rest, and now Inner Circle playing just as one. A nice run up for Team Flash to claim their spot back, potentially, because it is still all to play for.
Yeah, T24 last alive here. And it's an awkward position on the map to be playing too for T24. So open. You got this small dip. It's a tiny dip, essentially, to work with. But I think that he should be going down in the next couple of stages. Got a lot of this fielded area on the north side. We still have chopsticks in, like we were talking about earlier with Geeky, holding that one. Influence rate of a very strong compound over towards the northwest. Question of how long it stays in. Burmese Ghouls out of the field, though, fighting versus the Flash. Attempts to step up, but there is a shot there from along the way. The Flash continues to corral Burmese Ghouls into position.
Unknown having the rescue mission sent his way, but Yatka steps into the firing line, and they will tear them to shreds. The Ghouls having a tough time here out in the open. Ichi sending for the 4 wins now. And Team Flash happy to pick up these points. They've started to rack them up now, Blank. Alter Ego, sure, they're in a center position. They've got some points. Weibo are chasing, though. And Team Flash as well, up towards the northern side. And it's going to be both of the 2 teams on the outside there having to move. Team Flash and Weibo are chasing squads. Looking to move things aside as, at the moment, Inner Circle gonna have a real tough time of it. T24, I mean, he's being spotted. He's being shot at. Krypton looking to take him out now. But with the 1 point they've earned, it's not the greatest of finishes. But is he going to get into a building? I think he might just. Oh, no, not quite close enough.
Which one?
To go a little bit further afield. Yeah. He's going to have Arcred to contend with. I thought that was empty. I'm blind completely. I didn't realize Arcred was sat on top of the roof.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think T24, like I said, is going to go down the next couple of stages. Very difficult to play the solo from this position. There really isn't many areas to play. And honestly, by this point in time, you even have these shacks, which are usually designated for like 1 player. Teams are wanting them. Teams are wanting them. Boar's looking a lot better than recently. I think a lot of weight's off their shoulders, which is allowing them to play at a much higher potential, funnily enough.
So, kind of letting them go, you know, a little bit off the leash. And this is, again, a team that we were really not expecting a lot from. I've given them a lot of flack over the course of this one, but they have found some cheeky little engagements. I mean, they're not a qualifying team. I think it's still safe to say, but they've exceeded my expectations. And for that, I'm happy. Let's see if they can go toe-to-toe with Team Flash, though. Win does get flushed away, so Team Flash now on 2 players alive, and SnowX is on the swivel. Maybe they're going to exceed my expectations once more, because Team Flash having a bit of a nightmare here. Just the 1 player left standing, and Bose is on low HP as well. Really struggling from up on high, needs to connect, look for the spray downs. Alter Ego not getting stuck in either. They're busy fending off the southwest edge from Influence Rage. In the meantime, Weibo as well, suffering against Alliance.
I mean, Weibo just crashed Alliance. Kind of respect this maneuver from them, to be honest. This is so much more aggressive than we've seen Weibo in the past. They're up to 7 elims on this game. And I think they're really feeling themselves here. After that last match, they made a couple of mistakes, but I think that they are having a big batter moment right now. They're looking for the home run, try and get themselves in towards top 2. As soon as you make that maneuver, you could have played a lot slower, just like Inner Circle, but they don't. They make this weird maneuver on the Western Bridge. I did not like it at all. But for Weibo, I respect it. I really do respect it.
With 3 players alive, 7 elims as well. Let's hope they don't overpeak their angles again. That's the last player from Burmese Ghouls going down. Yesterday, games looked pretty good for them. Influence Rage trying to move through Alter Ego. Alva able to find one. No, they're going to take Alva down, but Influence Rage get torn apart by Krypton on the inside law. Finally able to hit the drop shot, and actually it's now down to just Snape. The knocks are coming through thick and fast. And Law will be able to pick up these flushes. Alter Ego put down to Size. Will be playing on us too. The boards are going to rock in from the eastern side as Team Flash, I believe they are eliminated on the eastern side. And the Molotov in from Law might just burn Alter Ego out of position. Cause some problems, and Geek are here to play. The revenge of the bottom of the tables.
Yeah, everyone wants points on this one. Albert crawling over towards his teammate, but that nade is on target. Kevin will take him down. At least Alter Ego were able to get some points this game. We weren't able to quite track their rotation perfectly because we were more concerned over towards Weibo, who have now removed Alliance from that position, playing as a 3 in one of the big buildings available. Geek, though, continues strong. I think, again, a lot of our teams towards the bottom of the lobby, the weights are off. You know, we've dropped them like Rock Lee. And we are just going for it because it does feel like you have a little to lose now.
Looks like Weibo have called in a favor of the circle to keep them in on the southeast side here. Other teams are going to have to move in towards the Falcons from the northeast edge. The closest to it, but the Wolves are really making their lives hard with Doran still across the way. That's going to control them for a while, but it's on the far side of the circle. Likely going to have to move. Arcred unwillingly sharing this compound with Weibo. Water does get rezzed. Another nade on in. Maybe that's just the smoke. Maybe a Molotov, actually. No, okay, it does pop some damage there. Didn't quite see the cook on that. Order getting the healing on board. Markred can't really afford to step too close to this one.
Yeah, I think it was a sticky bomb that you sent in there.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense.
But 8 limbs for Weibo. Again, if they are able to push further, I think that does sit them over towards first place, John. If they can get like a 3rd or a 2nd. Alter Ego did push very far in this game with their 8 limbs. That's me. SnowX just runs them all down. SnowX is kind of insane. And we haven't had much good to say about the Boars, but SnowX is just a ridiculously good player. And I think that he does deserve a lot of credit. Weibo looking over towards Arcred, and they get immediately taken out. 5th place, I don't think that's enough. It might push them to top 2, but we'll wait and see. But it is fierce. It is fierce towards that top 3 at the moment.
We called it on the tower graphic on the right-hand side. It's a dead heat right now between Weibo and Inner Circle. The tiebreaker, though, won by Inner Circle. So it's still just outside, but currently it's a 3-way tie, including Alter Ego, actually, with 74 points. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd right now. Team Flash, obviously drawing short. Burmese Ghouls out of the running. At the moment, the next closest team is the Wolves to try and jump on up. And they're quite a hefty chunk behind. The Falcons just behind them as well. Arcred and Geek further still. Koa lands a shot over towards Doran. The Falcons have been trying to move forwards for a while now. They have managed to get into the next circle. But the Wolves are struggling to find these shots because Coops is down next.
If the Falcons, you're starting to... I'd start throwing smokes and start rotating over. You've got 2 knocks there. Now's the time to push. Clear out the Wolves. Slight delay on this one, in my opinion, but a great shot from Narvalo from the front line there. That should be the Wolves done.
It should be going down, but they've got a little bit of tenacity still in them.
That's a lovely nade.
We'll want some shots. That is a lot of nades, and they are going to land on target there. The backline's now the only thing for Wolves that is still alive, and the Falcons want to add to their elim tally. Geek on 10 elims right now, blank. They keep it going. Doran down, and the Falcons earn their keep for the time being. They have expended a lot of nades, but that resupply comes in very quickly. Look at that. Immediately snagging 6 more. Geek struggling to move across, and the zone, I mean, it keeps this compound in. Weibo would have loved to have won this fight.
They really would have done. I think they gave their all. They already fought Alliance. It was a little bit more of a struggle for them versus Arcred. And great play from Arcred to drop all the smokes. But they were able to pick up a strong spot here. And Arcred actually might get a win off the back of this. They might do. Depends how crunched they get between DK.
Falcons nearly with a knock over towards Ragnarok. Arcred also turning the majority of their tension down towards Geek, who are making moves and a little bit too late still. I mean, it's just not happening for them. But it's a bit of glory under the belt, if you can find it. Ragnarok out in the open. Ooh, easy for Bad Boy, not quite spotting it. The Falcons need to move in too.
Well, I think the setup from the Falcons is good so far. They're trying to deny sightlines from Arcred over towards them. And when Arcred needs to start moving out, they want to make sure they have the line down from the south side so they can shoot them as they move out from those buildings. And the Falcons don't really want to have to take this fight with GK. They'd rather Arcred took those shots and they steal away the points. It's like they don't have too much ammo on board either, John. Finally, making this push out toward the hay bales. That is a dangerous crossing. All the players inside the vehicle likely to lose at least one, but this is a haymaker of a crash.
Ooh, Alpha's going to be able to win the challenge, though, and actually, they're going to be able to fight them. Oh, surely not. Oh, no, it's not Valo, though. Don't count him out. Not until the end. Not until the very, very end. It's actually Ralph's going to get his own elimination there. That is unfortunate as the vehicle goes up. Narvalo now on the backstop, the only player for the Falcons alive. Arcred need to move out into the field, and they do just that. The smokes, yeah, it's not going to be there. Hardboy has the angle. There's no way he gets these reses. And they're all outside of the zone. Narvalo out in the open. They will go down in second. A nice little crash down, but the explosion doesn't go their way. And Arcred claim a chicken dinner, Blank, to take things into control towards the very end on the open fields.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred a 2-2 split in the vehicles, potentially, but, you know, hindsight is 2020 there. Tough approach. But a pretty good close down there from Ralph. Sad that the vehicle explodes up in his face. If that doesn't happen, it's a full reset on the team. It really is an unfortunate moment for him. He had to start running away a lot sooner. And again, it is just these tiny little micro maneuvers which are losing teams games. And I think that you can't really blame Ralph too much there. I think that's the best we've seen him in a clutch all last chance. But it's a case of, oh, I've got to win this fight. And then you're not really thinking in the back of your head, I've got to get away from the vehicle.
Yeah, it's really, really tough, especially when Arcred are still taking shots out. You're more concerned about your teammates. The Falcons, I mean, it was a good try. It was a good try, but they just couldn't quite cut the mustard this time around. Second place still might keep them in competition. The top spots did draw short, a 74-point dead heat over on the top.
Yeah, and it's Arcred who pulled out the chicken dinner for match number 2. This endgame was just wild, Max, man. Falcons getting pushed on by Geeky. Break it down for us.
I mean, it just got a bit messy, really. I don't know what to add onto this. I get the idea of Falcons trying to go onto that fight to take the angles away from GK. The thing is, you're not even in a great position in the circle itself if you win that fight. And the rotations early game were great, and they're keeping 4 players alive until the very late game, that was one of the big points of improvement I wanted to see coming out from this team. But that late game push, I think going for GK here, Nipchiro, was maybe not the right option. I think there was another fight that you're thinking they could have taken earlier on this match.
Yeah, I think that the way they played this, going for GK was the only way they could have played it. However, I want to go back ever so slightly and go, when Arcred were fighting Weibo and Alliance, I think Falcon should have third-partied that. That would have been a completely better option, because then you have actual control of that compound, and then you're the one in control of the zone. You're the one in control of GK as well, who had the field. So for me, I would have much preferred a full send onto a third-party position on that compound.
Yeah, I mean, especially the thing is, because you do not fight Arcred in that compound, guess what? Bad boy, he can play the roof angle, which, you know, in a field finish, when you have that high ground elevation, you can't escape the eye of Sauron in this lobby, and Bad Boy just got so much free information and even some off angles at the end around the trees west of the circle. So Arcred, Uzbekistan looking really good, starting off the day in 13th position. I wonder how high that's going to push them here, Hot Jukes.
Yeah, it's going to definitely push them up a little bit. They've still got a long road left to go here. And the trial is only going to get tougher, because as we start dwindling down here in the last day, teams are going to be just that much more desperate. This hot drop, though, Max, man. Did we see this hot drop coming? I mean, hospital of all places?
Yeah, he was trying to be Sook. And he's trying, though, talking about a bad play there. In a circle. They knew Genji were there. They scouted them. And they still send it. I mean, good on Gen G, because I feel like that was a good idea to defend it, because you're clearing your back while trying to transition in the later stage of the game. But Inner Circle, why delay that Eastern Bridge rotate? That one did confuse me quite a bit.
I think they were trying to pull a bluff and kind of go, listen, Gen G definitely not going to be here. The zone's pushing them away now, and unfortunately that was just wrong, right? But yeah, they should have taken the Eastern Bridge. We saw, the Eastern Bridge. We saw them do that in the end, and they survived a lot longer for it. So yeah, that would have been the better play, just to go for that and full send that. But you know, again, just at least they only lose one, right? And they get further ahead in the game. So hopefully not too much of a bad game for them here.
So, looking at this final fight, we did have Snowix popping off. I think he got a double nade at one point. A great play on that southern edge fight. But unfortunately, he does get overwhelmed at the end. But yeah, Snowix, the French. Always happy to see the French perform. We got Narvalo. Yes. And of course, now we do have Snowix on board for the Boars. They also did have a decent amount of points on Rondo. So that also could push them up significantly in the rankings, as we have the map recap here, seeing some of our top 4 team rotating around the battlegrounds. And you can see, based on where the circle went, Pachinki, Falcons, they don't drop too far away. They go right into Chopsticks, and they have an easy transition point. But they love this 2-2 split, Niptura. I swear they've done it for like the past 2 years now. They love this.
They really do, don't they? And honestly, it gives them so much info heading into the mid phase of the game. So I actually really like that, as long as they don't lose players, right? But we will see them kind of keep off to themselves. Same for Arcred. Arcred had that one half of the compound for a very long time, just really chilling there, able to keep their info, keep their utilities as well till the end game. I also really liked what we saw here from Falcons. They move up onto this little bit of high ground. It's very similar to what we saw from them in one of the games on the group stage, where they were able to really have a dominating game based off of that high ground, that rolling hill. So I'm really glad they remembered that and utilized that again here, because again, it gets them 10 points on the board, and with how close the leaderboard is, that 10 points is looking really good for them.
Every point counts here at this point. Chopsticks field finish is always going to be so difficult, so I'm not surprised we saw so many teams just get eliminated right there towards the end. And man, it's so wild to see just how things are shaking out here. We still got 2 more Aaron Gales left to go, Max, man. Weibo, they put up 11 in their first one here. They're putting up some consistent points, but I think it is just these little tiny mistakes that we're seeing after them. By the way, 33Z with those crazy shots on the Gen G, that got me so hyped.
Yeah, I was like, no way, 33Z's popping up. It's so good to see. Like, of course, when you look at this team, you're expecting Sook and you're expecting Order to be up there. But Hero and 33Z really coming in their own this season, it seems like, right, Niptura? They're really performing, bringing points on board. Genuinely so happy for them. Though, looking at the lower side of these rankings, I feel bad for one team, and that's Loops. Man, they were going for Crash onto Wolves, and they had 3 teams shooting back at them. They had Geek, Burmese Ghouls, and the Wolves. I mean, you're taking a 1v3 at that point. What do you expect? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's the power of the field finishes, right? There's no angle from which you can hide. So unfortunate indeed, especially when you're going up against Bad Boy here, the MVP. Up on top of that roof, that compound is just so good for those roof angles, and you're able to just take so much advantage over those field finishes. So GG to Bad Boy, able to get up 6 eliminations here, Jukes.
Yes, indeed. I mean, Arcred putting up some points. How close is the top looking, though, right now? It's looking pretty close. Pretty darn close. 3-way tie, folks. And the reason why IC is in second is because they got 1 chicken dinner. A is in first because they got 2. But Weibo is right there lurking right behind him. And not to mention, you got Flash pretty dang close. We are seeing a good, solid gap, though, between 4th and 5th place here, Max.
Yeah, you have a 13-point gap between 4th and 5th. You got, again, that little bit of a cushion being built up. But I am fuming. This is so rough to watch, Niptura, because I had 5 teams that I was like, I think are favorites when it comes to making it in top 2, and I would like to see them make it. And that's Ultra Ego, Inner Circle, Weibo, Flash, and Wolves. And 4 of them are in the top 4. This is going to be a heartbreaking finish, man. That last Miramar, I'm going to be crying.
Yeah, it's always heartbreaking when you've only got 2 going through, and when all of them are doing so well, as you said, the top 4 out of 5, right? And they're all so close. You've got the top 3 in a tie right now. Like, all of these teams deserve to go through to finals. We have to choose 2, and it's going to be so difficult to make that choice.
Oh, man, when it comes to the Wolves, Max, they are currently 21 points behind that 2nd place spot. I mean, with how these top teams are playing, it's getting about that do or die point, at least in my mind, right? What do you feel the Wolves specifically need to do different in this next Erangel, considering they're so far behind?
So before I answer your question, because very good question, Ragnarok got 6 limbs with just under 200 damage. Stealing.
What? That's crazy. That's crazy.
In the game, he was stealing all the limbs. But no, for Wolves, I'm really happy to bring it up. I feel like they're going for these kind of desperate positions. In this game in particular, right, in the field finish, they went for these sheds very early on, which they're not bad late game, right, if you don't have too many options. But here in Ipchura, they went for their mid game. And that really locks you out of late stage rotational potential because your cars are going to be spotted from like a mile away. You're going to pop the wheels on the buggies, on the Dacias, whatever vehicle you have, and you're not going to be able to leave it. I think that it would have been better to see them try and fight off for a POI, like a compound or that hilltop to the west or even maybe to the east. That would have maybe allowed them to make it into a top 3 podium finish. But here, I think they just went for a desperate position that, as we see, didn't really reward them with a lot of survival time.
I agree. I always hate when we see those plays being made in the mid game because it feels desperate and it feels like you're almost, now I'm going to be harsh here, it almost feels like you're giving up the game very, very early on because once you're there, you're stuck there for the rest of the game. It's very few chances you're actually going to get through there. So I don't want to see that again. We've got 2 more Wrangles. Come on, we can do better than that. Wolves are far better than what that game showed us. So I need to see a bit more from them, Jukes.
I'm telling you though, military is coming.
Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. I want to see that desperation come out because some of these teams need these points so bad. One more Erangel match. Let's go ahead and take it on over to John Allen and Blake.
Oh, we're getting close. Oh, we're getting so close. 9 out of 12 matches. This is our 9th. Will it be lucky number 9 for one of our teams? Looking to break that tie at the top spots, the top 3. Looking to try and make some division between them. Try and open a lead. The plane path on the west side here. Maybe we'll see some vehicle hot drops. Teams looking to break out towards the east, but we're going in again. This is our 2nd Erangel today and our penultimate Erangel of the last chance stage.
It's also the part of the day where I said that we can start counting out some teams who would not be making it through last chance into top 2. It gets really difficult at this point, John.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's going to be much harder for the teams at the bottom to start to make up that ground. The opportunities are dwindling. There really isn't much more time left. If you're not in the competition at the end of this match, you're not in the competition. I mean, of course, the outliers of, back-to-back 30-point games, but I mean, I don't think that's ever happened in the history of PUBG Mobile. I don't think we've seen a last 2 matches ascendancy in that sort of fashion before. We've seen comebacks, but they have been sort of over the course of an entire day, not just the second part of it. So this game, crucial. I think for anyone maybe below 50 points, it's got to be very, very, very difficult to catch up here. And anyone below that metric will really struggle to catch up. And anyone below 40 points, it is just done. There is no way you're making it through. Second place, we're expecting it to be over 100 points, towards 110, could be as high as 120. It's very, very volatile, very variable as to what we'll see at the top of the tables. And at the moment, looks like we haven't got too many teams actually stacking up to that sort of metric. 110 looking more likely, maybe closer to 100.
Yeah, essentially on this match, like if you are around the 45-point mark, you're looking for a chicken dinner, or to be honest with you, what you're looking for is 55 to 60 points. And that might give you a chance to catch up, right? For teams like Burmese Ghouls, Loops, Influence Rage, Wolves, these teams do have the possibility of making it in, but it does require Alter Ego and Inner Circle, Weibo, Flash, to stop doing so well in their matches, because it seems very consistent from all 4 of those squads getting towards a late finish. The Flash is lagging behind a little bit, but it is so close. Like, dead heat between Alter Ego, Inner Circle, Weibo is insane to me. All 3 teams with 74 points. I can't remember which group it was, but we had another group where it might have been Group Red, where it was 3 teams on the same points towards the top side and winning out on tiebreakers. Just insanely close this tournament so far. I feel like a broken record as well, because every single PMGC we get, I'm like, this is the most competitive PMGC we have seen. It seems like we've topped it again.
You know, we just keep getting better, strength to strength, you know. It was very, very close. Yeah, back in Group Red, it was 137 in third place to 136 and 136 for both Team Flash and Weibo Gaming, who right now are on third and fourth place right now as well, which has got to feel like a terrible little flashback. And if you want to see flashback, then they are going to need to break that tiebreaker.
Some bad omens. Some bad omens for some of our squads at the moment. Weibo starting Severny, likely going to be a swing over the south side of Stalbert. I'll pick those positions on the east side of the circle. In a circle, yeah, you'd hope it was an eastern bridge. Snake down immediately, and Rosemary going to test his metal here, but there is some great shots from Neil Zada off in the distance. Vitin will find Rosemary. Now, Krypton has a lot to do here. I like that pre-fire.
Not able to keep things under control. Got to abandon Rosemary, let him fall back instead. Alva's into the backup. The nade goes long. And it might just be a resible here. Ratto Boy wants to stop it, but the bounce on the container. Rosemary is looking pretty resible. Neil Zada trying to launch a nade. Ratto Boy, Vitin, both trying to find it. Geek are here. Hang on a minute. A third party coming through from the northern shore, all the way from the backlines. And that should allow Alter Ego to maybe repair the decimating damage that's been sent their way already. Alva desperately picking people up. Neil Zada very exposed, wants to slow it down, but overexposed to Krypton. And he's able to slice on through it. Rosemary back to his feet. The backup for Loops cut away by the third party from Geek. Rosemary re-knock, but Snape severs the connection to that knocker. Will not be able to find the flush. Ratto Boy desperately bringing back Neil Zada now, and Loops' dreams may be coming crashing down here. Alter Ego keep the top spot for now, and they want more. They want to keep it going, but Ratto Boy rages on the inside. Krypton flushed away, and Geek in for the fight. Once more, they look to stop a team at the top.
GK moving in, and the one bites the dust, and that's Alter Ego down and out. 75 points is the marker now for first place. What a big stand-up there for Krypton, but not enough as GK swings in from that north side. Oh, the reset just could not come through. I think if Alter Ego was able to get the full reset, they might have just divulged away from this location, straight down towards the south. Second time now where Alter Ego, right at the beginning of the game, gets completely cut out. Starting to wonder if this is potentially targeted.
I mean, Geek with 3 elims on the hunt for the remnants of Loops. For Alter Ego, that's nasty. It felt like Geek were giving them the little assist. I wonder if Papara Supermassive are aware of this. I mean, starting up towards Zaki, by the way, for Papara Supermassive, they may have heard some of this fighting. But the quiet should spook them now. They'll have seen a squad wipe come on through on their elim feed. They should be aware that this is popping off. I think getting to the circle might be a little bit more of a firm beckon for Papara Supermassive. As we hop over to the east side, though, Arcred very central. Team Flash on quite a big split, lining the east side of the Yasnaya fields right now. And trying to hold out as much as they can. Weibo a little bit further out east towards that mansion split area.
I think it's a reasonable split coming through from the Flash. I think they can contain a lot of this area for the time being. A lot of safe buildings to work with as well. Especially this one here for Tops. The wall around it keeps him pretty fortified. Should have off angles from his team as well to help if anything goes down. But you hope that they would regroup soon. They have got a lot of loot on board starting in Yasnaya. They had a ton of time to grab smokes, nades, everything they might want towards an end game. Weibo do make that cross on South Stalbert. Nico, though, finding Geek. Geek kind of an annoying squad right now for a lot of teams, I imagine. Coming out of nowhere. Also, I will say, though, for Geeky, I really did like that rap, right? Where they saw over towards Loops. They did a lot of damage towards Loops. They were like, okay, that team is in a struggle bus city. So let's wrap over towards the other side and try and take down the other team that seems to be taking a lot of damage, trying to get the reset. So it was a smart move. Hard southeast shift. Goodness me. Ooh. So we're over towards Lumberyard. Boars do have an outpost already set up there. So good foresight on that one from them, trying to take as much area as possible from where they were playing.
Foresight might not be enough, though. You need to go for the 5, 6, 7 site. In the end, Redox spotted out in the open. A very wide split for the Falcons. They were hedging their bets on this one, but they do get spotted with one of their players. They'll play on as 3, trying to make their way down south with the rest of them. Team Flash, I mean, picking up a point for Team Flash is good. Every single point matters, and I mean, this is what we were talking about, right? With points denials also being so important. We've seen several be denied over the course of the games here in Last Chance, and over the course of the tournament in general. And it would break a tiebreaker like this, right? It would put Weibo above Inner Circle or vice versa in scenarios like this, which is exactly why we talk about it being such a viable strategy in these really, really close scenarios.
I'm surprised by Weibo's approach on this one. They actually send hard down towards the southeast. Towards the dead trees. Pick up the compounds that sit around there as well. Bit of a gamble from Weibo trying to get further into this match. Now Valo gets spun out. We'll have to reverse that bad boy across the grass. Arcred may just chase him down. That's Falcons down towards, I think that's 3 players. I think one player is very low, or it is just down to... Yeah, just down to 3 players now. So they lost Redox.
Yeah, on that rotate down from the south side after playing that large split. Arcred not wanted to stretch out too far, and I think that's probably sensible, given the circle right now. Teams will crunch in around them, and if they get embroiled in a fight for too long, it will get third-partied.
Yeah, you want to hold on to the prison spot, especially on the high ground as well. It's a very nice position from Arcred. Maybe they could have got something done there. I say quick flex out, but I think the high percentage play is just to stay there. For the Boars, who are currently at 47 points, they do have a real chance to get up towards the middle of the pack and potentially hunt down some of our top teams. With Alter Ego already out, it gives slightly more time, right? We add a little bit more to that stopwatch for some of our squads trying to move through towards the top side of the lobby. Ray is just spinning out of control.
Hitting with the Beyblade. Trying to make it work. GK on this northwest side. Of course, losing one of their players earlier on to Papara Supermassive. They are still on this north side. Next circle. We're going up towards the prison. Oh, a big feature of the circle. That prison ridgeline that Arcred hold is a break point for teams moving up towards the north. For Alliance, for Wolves, for Inner Circle, Gen G, Weibo as well. It's going to filter teams left and right of it. And I would not be surprised to see a couple of teams trying to put themselves in shackles and send on in there.
Well, that's a last-ditch scenario, right? If you are a solo or a duo, maybe you play prison, but it does become sort of unplayable area. You don't want to end up in there unless you're in zone 7, 8, and it is on top of prison directly. For Weibo, very quick approach back over towards Lipovka, scouting out that area, trying to control the ridge on the western side. I think they understand that they can't get the majority of the area there, so they're just going to sit this one out, it seems, over on the coast. The GK sending in here early is interesting, in my opinion.
Big dogs in the prison yard.
I think they're more prisoners, honestly. just prisoners.
Oh yeah, big dog in the prison yard. Little minuscule terrier on the outside right now. I mean, you rock up there, you're going to have problems, but are you going to rock up there? Well, Loops seem to be scouting it. They go in as well. Loops are going in too. Loops are going in with Geeke. They're going for the lock-in. And Loops in a really important position, although to be fair, Loops are 2, so that's kind of more excusable.
Yeah, like I said, as a duo, it makes sense. For Geeke as a 3, I just don't really get it. Yeah, I think Geeke is just maybe unconfident in their capability to fight out for position around him and they just want to survive. Just fair enough. There's a lot riding on this game. But for Geeky with 38 points, feels unlikely. Maybe they're just wanting to get, 10 points on this match, just keep pumping those numbers. But again, that is hoping that teams towards the top aren't doing well, which right now they wouldn't be wrong.
I mean, getting numbers, that's what this whole thing's about, right? Getting those. You really want a 1 or a 2 next to your name at the end of this one. Those are the only numbers that matter, really. In the end of the day, Wolves playing on the southwest side, close to Alliance. The Wolves, a little bit of a fall off today, but still just about in with a chance. Really at the bottom rung, though, of that ladder, looking to try and climb up on 53 points. It is big games they need for the rest to jump up and compete. Unless Alter Ego keep going down with single point games, if Inner Circle and Weibo do the same, maybe they don't need quite as much, but the next circle will pop in as well. If we go to a prison finish blank, I feel like I'd absolutely love that, but it would be terrifying for our players. IZ Globan rocking up to Burmese Ghouls.
We are closing in on it.
Ooh.
Don't enjoy prison finishes personally, but could be the way forward. I mean, Arcred do have sightlines down towards it, but again, it's this massive glut of teams down towards the southwest. You all have to journey up there soonish. That is a slight slope they'll have to make their way through. So likely the Alliance, Wolves, Falcons, Inner Circle, in fact, will all need to battle off against one another shortly.
It's going to be a real sparsity, I think, of positions. This south side, that melee that we're looking forward to. Burmese Ghouls on the north side. I mean, they're in their compounds. They've got all 4 of their players alive. They can bide their time for a little bit longer. Not so for Alliance. They are one of those teams on the south edge, with Falcons, with Inner Circle, all stacked up around the lumberyard, and everybody looking to try and chop their way out. Falcons getting lit up from both sides, though. This is nasty stuff. The D24 finds the first knock. Alliance not chiming in just yet, but Inner Circle actually going to be pushing up closer with Falak getting into nade range. Alliance will have oversight onto this, and they will take him down. That is nasty news, and Narvalo's going to chase it through as well, looking for the knocks. And Gen G are here on the eastern side. Blank, they're flexing out from the east edge instead of going for the circle. They want to third party, finding another knock towards Inner Circle. The flush comes on through, and now they're playing with 2 active, 1 down. Inner Circle a little bit too far forwards, but who could have predicted this flex out coming through from Satan on Gen G?
So what we've discovered here is that Gen G hates Inner Circle for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but they keep running into them, causing a lot of problems right now for Inner Circle down to just IQ, leader of the squad, trying to figure out how to make this work, how to get some more points in the game. And suddenly Weibo is in a far better spot than anyone else, similarly with the Flash.
Yeah, I think for Team Flash on this western side, and you're right, yeah, Weibo and Team Flash definitely now in with a massive opportunity to jump up on these standings with a decent game. It doesn't even need to be massive for getting on up there. But I think the bigger news is maybe for the teams a little bit lower down, right? For teams like Burmese Ghouls, teams like Influence Rage, Wolves. This is an opportunity to put a dent in the lead that has been earned. If teams start to fall at the top, that is when the middle pack can rise. The rotates starting to come on through. And IQ, I mean, he'd like to go into prison at this point, potentially, but it seems to be a little bit overcrowded.
Yeah, there's quite a few. It is ridiculous the amount of teams that are currently playing in prison. You really don't expect this at this stage of the game, especially with the circle starting to move a little bit further over towards that eastern edge. I want to see some more from the Wolves, though, here out on that southwest side. Can they take down Alliance? Can they deal with the Flash? We'll have to wait and see.
Oof. Team Flash, knock onto Lil Boy. That's not going to be super resable. As Team Flash likely to look to reposition, but it's going closer to prison. Oh, blank. The shift to the southwest side. Arc Red control the hillsides. Team Flash have the western road. And Wolves as well. Looking pretty decent, but The cells beckon our teams towards them. What have they done to deserve such punishment? As Falcons try and fly, live up to their namesake. They send on in. Let's see where they land.
Well, I mean, you're in last chance, so you get in the prison. It's time. It is time to battle it out. Yep. Out on the gym. Pump some iron. Pump those points. Hopefully. But 8 nades being cooked off in the distance there, by the way. Good nade from Koa. Starts things off strong towards Ragnarok.
GK. Challenge on the inside. Koa with the pump action, but he turns the wrong corner. 2 players to face. It's not going to work, but the nade. The answer from Ralph. The IGL. The man of the hour now. Holding down his corner and hops into the cell block. Really wants these points. He's charging forwards for them. Wants to stop the res as well. He knows this is the best situation he's going to get. It's the best 1v1 he'll find. Goes in. Wrong corner, my friend. You missed the guy actually in there. Ralph, you're floundering now. And 2 players on the stairs. They're going to take a chunk out of you. You need to be more careful than that. He misses the point. Was set right in front of him. He pops the wrong corner. Influence Rage are running in as well. Burmese Ghouls are playing the north side of the prison too. And loops are clashing. Brazilian Bonanza here on the inside. But the shack is held down and Influence Rage claim the points. But there's still more to go. Red are now moving in. Blank. Everybody's coming.
It is non-stop. It is non-stop. Arcred moving around that top side. Burmese Ghouls here as well. The Falcons, Ralph is blinded by the sunglasses he wears the majority of the time once he's on that stage. Sadly, not able to pick up that point, and now will just remain on the southwest side of prison, tucked away for as long as possible. Weibo playing it slow. I think Weibo can start to sweep. Sadly, Claws finds Sook.
That's really nasty, but there is an answer from Hero. Maybe they can keep things under control, keep themselves as 4. I think having 4 on the outside of prison right now is basically a superpower. Moving into this lobby. Team Flash as well. Now clashing with Wolves. Nades going back and forth. And actually it's Team Flash who are taking the majority of the casualties here as the nades start to come on through as well. A roll down from Claws is good from Weibo. And they look to step up for the challenge. Gen G starting to falter. They may have ruined Inner Circle's day, but Weibo all too happy to use them as a springboard to the top of the tables right now. 78 points now earned. And they will look for more to clear out what they can. Team Flash, they're down to 1 in the meantime. Over on the west side hill, the Wolves are winning that fight.
Wolves doing pretty well. Definitely doing pretty well for themselves. Now looking down towards 9Z Globe, and I think for 9Z Globe, this is a hard push versus the Wolves. But nades look to be pretty limited on the side of the Wolves there, which would be fantastic. I think for 9Z Globe, they're probably just going to stick around on that western side. Next circle, I'm thinking it's going to be towards the prison, yeah. So it cuts out a little bit. Weibo can control a huge amount of area from here, though. They will need to deal with Papra Supermassive soon. Similarly, also Boars on that north side are starting to make that move.
Moving on in, slamming straight past, looking for Burmese Ghouls who are moving up on the high ground here. Cause tries to get ahead of it. DBS in hand. Kevin with the challenge. Cause turns the wrong way though and gets clocked by 1. Second spray down there, and the off angles from 9ZG are just decimating the Burmese Ghouls approach. Yatka and Ichi immediately flushed away, and the backlines now the only thing that remain. Unknown wishes he had the necromancy powers on board right now, but Red also third-partying. That's what they love to do. We haven't really seen them take that opportunity, but it is getting a little bit nasty. They move down this eastern side. They've been on the prison ridge for so long, but with 2 players on the board, the hard boy, he's got a hell of a task, and he will not be up to it.
Yeah, X are able to find those shots. Weibo's taking a really, really long split out towards that eastern side. They do find Tron B from Papra Supermassive, and Nate goes long, but it's not long enough, or is it? It's right on Sook's feet.
Not going to stop him, though. My man's still running, still going, still racking up miles. Needs to get his steps in. Of course, nade over the top doesn't land on towards Remix on the north side. Just biding their time. 9Z Globen controlling the mouth of prison right now. Weibo kind of filling in towards Red, and with a player down, it may be that Weibo were able to step through this one effectively. Doran knocked by Alliance on this west side combat. Wolves able to have dispatched the majority of Team Flash, but Alliance able to extract value in the meantime on the west edge.
Flash actually being the ones to take those shots over towards 9Z Globen. They were playing inside a prison right now. They're on the western edge, but it's Weibo to step up. Snoix now fallen behind the buggy. A couple of tap shots will do the trick. Ammo does not seem to be a problem either for Weibo, which is a really big deal, especially for that endgame where taking a lot of shots down towards the inside of prison.
Oh, Kolingok moving through the boards. Here to play 12 teams up, and they want to try and make it 11. They will bust it down one, but 12 teams in zone 6 is crazy. Finally, we lose a second as well as the Wolves are taken out by Alliance. And now this ridgeline for Alliance becomes very, very strong. The transition out to the east side, though, a little bit more dangerous. The high ground not really under control as Weibo continue to rack up these point blank 7 elims. They're distinguishing themselves.
Yeah, pushing ahead, trying to secure that first place spot after match 3 today is a really, really good idea. And I think for Weibo, they make the good choice. I mean, sending over towards the Povka and then seeing that probably so many teams have sent down in towards the prison. We're just going to try and control the outside edge. But this is a winning play. This is the winning play. There's so many survival plays inside this lobby. And I think the nerves are getting to so many teams. Oh my days. Weibo is just going to have such a good time off the back of this one. They do need to hope this pushes further towards the east, though. But if it ends up centering up, everyone in prison is going down. Like, how do you get out now? If you want to get out of prison, you need to step out into the blue, wrap around the top side. You're locked in. You are absolutely locked in.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, maybe if you've got a buggy in there, there were some vehicles that drove in earlier, you might be able to clamber up, but that's going to be so visible. You're going to be making so much noise. They're just going to be waiting for you to turn over the ridge, and they'll be like, okay, now that's another point for us. Thank you very much. I think point denial in prison is going to be a big factor here, and that's nasty for Influence Rage, right? They are looking to farm as many as they can right now to jump up towards that 75-point boundary. An Inner Circle desperately hoping that they can survive. Team Flash as well, looking to try and keep their lives going. But no one really with a good spot to do it.
I think for Weibo, it's a good rotate down towards the south side, by the way. They see that, you know, 9Z Globe is likely going to be the circle a little bit longer, but this is going to push Alliance out, as well as remaining players from Papa Supermassive, which they already find. This is a very, very good rotate from Weibo. And 9Z Globe is playing so scared that Weibo can take all the time in the world that they want to deal with these teams on this western edge.
They've got so much leeway here, and what a time to find a game like this. It is messy on the inside. Ralph still kicking himself. Well, maybe not, because he didn't realize, but missing the Elim on towards Geekay. But now he has to move. He has to get across. And 3 players from Geekay, they know he's here. They're just waiting for him to step out, and that's not even to mention Arcred, who have the high ground as well over this position. IQ has moved in. Oh, hang on a minute. Alliance are chiming in from that high ground as well, over towards Geekay. Ralph now. Okay, he's down. So Falcon's out. Geekay will continue with 3 players. Arcred with challenges on their ridgeline, who have dropped down a little bit of a level. Jimmy with a little bit of an advantage potentially. Next circle coming in. Weibo, they're crashing 9ZG. It goes out to the west a little bit, so maybe more dangerous. But 9Z Globen now on the cards for Weibo. A bit of a wild crash out, but it seems like it's going to work out for them. A 1-4 trade, though. They're getting torn apart a little bit, going too low for my liking. And another knock. 2 of them are down against 9Z Globen.
That's where Order really needs to step up. If he can keep his team up at 4, it's a huge deal. Nade flies towards the position. Now 33C is going to get a move on over towards that north side to help his team. Sook's probably going to bleed now, and he's running down. But it's not happening. It is not happening. A little bit greedy on this 3-1 split. I think that Weibo needs to back off a little bit sooner. And it's going to be a reset here for 9Z Globen.
In the meantime, Alliance moving through on the hilltop, moving through Arcred's defense. They've been on this ridge for a long time. Arcred with only 3 elims. Alliance have been purloining them away, pilfering them as they go. Weibo getting run down. I mean, they went for that crash. They crashed into 90 Globen, and they didn't need to. You said they could bide their time, and it's all come down around their ears, but they are still in first place for now. We'll see how much further they can go. Arcred getting pushed aside. Alliance want to be in the conversation again.
And moving through on this side, Weibo now officially down to one player. It's sort of where you just hope for the commits here from the teams a little bit more. But again, I think that this is the one instance where I can sort of excuse it, where they do just want the high value play. They went for the 3-1. It's not bad. They just lose the fight.
Olio wants to clear this one out. A scrap in the prison yard is still going. It's the lawman to stand for Influence Rage. Trying to keep all the prisoners in check. Gets a nade over towards Ragnarok as well. In the meantime, Diego flushed away Geeke, proving to be troublesome, taking down his two teammates there. The next zone closes dead central. Blank, I think it's just up on the high ground ridgelines, if I'm not mistaken. It is pretty close, though. A little evil severance on that circle. And there's two fights that matter. The top and the bottom. Influence Rage getting far into this match is huge. And in a circle. Sneaky. IQ spotted. I think that's Geeke. Yeah, he's done for. No, hang on a minute. It's Alliance from the high ground.
For 33Z, basically he needs a top 3. It'd be hard to do, though, especially from his position. He's getting pushed in. He's down now. So Weibo go out in 6, so not a whole lot of placement points found. So it doesn't shove them further up the tables than they quite like. Nice at Globen, though. 10 elims, but in 14.
Alliance, though, 10 elims in 9th on 51 points, getting the placement points already. It's going to put them within striking distance, but their move off of this hilltop is dangerous. It's dastardly. Law is swept aside in the prison, and Geeke going to try and hide underneath this one. There's a potential for it to actually close with the overhang. Alliance are getting pushed aside now. In 3rd place, they'll get a lot of points, and they may be able to make a little bit of a bid for freedom. This was the last game that teams had a chance to make it up, and maybe Alliance have done enough. 9Z Globen wanting to find Geeke, but is it central for them? No, I don't think so. Geeke may be looking to deny the points, but for 9Z Globen, I mean, it is still too little too late, right?
Right? Yeah, right? Maybe. I don't think 9Z. I personally don't think 9Z Globen's getting another big game. Personally, Safji should be going down next. Should be. I don't think they have 2 more nades to work with. They're trying to isolate the angle. I think it's tough though.
Needs to step out in the blue. Not taking damage. The first on the top. They're going. He's going over the top. No way. Geeke. What are they doing? They have to center of the circle. Blank. 9Z Globen lemming themselves off the edge. And Geeke, I mean, they're all smiles. They sent it into the prison early. Blank, you hated the play. But it was a prison win coming out for Geeke. Why did they do that? This is the team that took down Weibo, by the way. Who do they think they are? Stop it. Misbehaving. 9Z Globen, I mean, hang your heads in shame. That's right. You should be unhappy with that.
Yeah, that was something. That was definitely something. Really, just can we just pay some respects to that team, please? That was, yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. There's been so many weird maneuvers throughout Last Chance. I'm more in my mind. Well played, Geeke. Incredible shots from the UMP. Well done.
I mean, crazy. Geeke went in early to the prison. They never had to leave. They were able to take a chicken dinner. I don't even know. Desk, tell me something to keep me sane.
What's going on here, guys? What is going on here? First of all, prison finish. Awesome. Now, 9Z, I saw this play. All right. I was like, all right, cool. They get Kevin. Maybe they jump down, try to get the last elimination. And then we just saw them fly off the top rope and second place finish. When I saw that, I was like, all right, 9Z, they just had a pop-off game. They're feeling good. They're just doing this for the memes at this point. Oh. But then I saw the player cams with all their heads down in disappointment. So it looked like this was not intentional at all.
Why? Why would you do this? Oh, no. I can't do anything but laugh at play like that. It's just so... 9Z. You know what? I give you an award for the throw of the decade. No! Not the year, the decade. That is how big a throw we just witnessed. But you know what? It's really good, Safji able to use a bit of that ridge that was digging inside the terrain, right? So actually put him a little bit closer to the center of the circle. But I can tell you, I cannot wait for the Pin Pundri edit on YouTube. That is going to be memed to oblivion. That is going to be great.
Max, okay, so if I put my analyst cap on, right, this is just another classic example of why you don't push one by one. If you're gonna jump off the cliff to try and get the one dude, at least do it as a trio. Why are we going one by... Oh my god, it just... So many notes, so much anger, madness, all of it. Jukes.
I had so many notes for this game. I'm not gonna lie, when I finished like that, I forgot everything I was gonna talk about.
Yes!
I'm like, what happened?
Oh, no, nothing else matters.
Talk about this. I know this is fun to look at because Loops, pretty sure that was a targeted play. They know this is Ultra Ego playing Crazy. They're trying to chase them down because Ultra Ego, of course, top contender currently for the top 2 ranks in the grand finals. But GK, I think they would just look into third party and get some free lins, and actually they were able to do just that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point, Max. I think GK were just looking for a cheeky third party that worked out for them, and that they were really respectful against Loops actually to just move into circle instead rather than trying to hold out fight, because the crates get so sticky. I mean, you could be there for half the game if you're not careful, Jake. So I don't mind that play from them. But for me, Alter Ego, maybe time to find a new drop spot for this last Erangel, because 2 out of 2 Erangels so far have been hot dropped on.
It's about time, though. It's about time we see teams get targeted here, because why not? If you're really trying to make something happen, you gotta shut down the top squads. I don't necessarily fully agree on that GK, you know, we're being respectful of Loops. We'll talk about that later as we get to this end game, because Prison Circle here towards the end, Weibo looked in such control and then lose it out right there towards the finish, Max.
They were in full control, Holtrix, exactly, until they said, how about we start playing split and play bad, and they did do just that. It was very unfortunate. Oh, that nade, didn't even see it through the open roof in Prison itself. It's so fun to see a Prison finish. You don't see it very often, and the layout of this area is so different compared to anything else Erangel has to offer, so I really love it. But yeah, I mean, GG. I was going to say 90 Global, but no, they didn't win it. GK, that's how I still can't believe that happened here as you go over these rotations. And we're going to be able to see that, as always, Weibo, going Saverni, Northern rotation, and able to make it towards the late game.
That's really interesting that they're in Saverni, actually, because we're going to see this massive rotation. They go all the way down to Milta Power in this next zone, right? They go all the way down here. You'll see them move now. They were right next to Inner Circle, I think it was, who also had a 2-2 split there. And then they go right up to Lipovka. Really quick rotation coming through from them. You see, gosh, 9Z have another big rotation. I mean, that just goes to show you how crazy this zone is, right? Because no one was expecting it to go here. So you've got teams going, okay, we got to pull something out of the bag here. We got to go right the way around. But Max, it's this final zone here. I really loved how WBG were playing this. Weibo had a fantastic... I love this split coming in from them, right? Just to hold off the teams on the south side. And then they got cocky. They went, hey, we're going to push 3 onto 9Z and lose and completely ruin the game. And that sounds like the best plan going forward.
It's so odd because they go from the split you're talking about, the southern one, such a good split, a respectful split. They play it very well against those southern teams. And then they go for a very ego-driven split. They're like, oh yeah, we can afford to go for this 3-1 split, but you got a very nadeable dip, and 90 Globen instantly punish that. But they get punished after that, 90 Globen, because of that fall off the cliff. So yeah, 20 points still good up to 90 Globen. Very good control on the outskirts of Prison itself, and Geeke get 19. I wonder how, if they even know what the hell happened there. They're like, I just won. I didn't know what to tell you. I just worked out.
Yeah. I don't know. I almost want to say
there at the end. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. I almost want to say that Weibo should have taken a page out of their own book of group in the group stage, right, when they were being super respectful and not pushing too far. But yeah, I'm just saying, guys. But we look over on the second half, Inner Circle again, 1 point on the board. Burmese Ghouls not having the day we saw yesterday, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm looking at Alter Ego too, getting 1 point. So Inner Circle, Alter Ego falling off. Burmese Ghouls, as you said, like also losing a little bit of momentum after that initial day in the last chance stage. So quite unfortunate. Saf G though. GG, our MVP, nice. The last survivor of GK of the entire game, in fact. Oh, I really cannot wait for the meme. Sorry, I know we should be analyzing and stuff, but you just know there's so much potential there, Hodging, so much.
It's so crazy because when I saw that play, I was like, oh, they realized that we're not making it. Let's just jump and have fun. But Weibo moved to the top. 85 total points. That consistency. They're putting up points like crazy here. So they're set up really good going into the rest of the day, Max, man. And with 85 points, that's going to feel pretty comfortable.
They're playing the top 4 musical chairs right now. They're just like, I'm first, no, you're second, I'm third, you're fourth, I'm first, I'm second. It keeps intertwining and changing between these 4 teams in particular. And currently, there's still a little bit of a gap created in Iptura, but of 9 points between Flash and Influence Rage.
Yeah, really, really good to see. I can't wait for our last Erangel Jukes. I think it's going to shake things up a lot.
It definitely is, guys. Guys, get your drinks, get your popcorn ready. We got the rest of the last chance coming up right after this short break.
PSMGN.
Миний хэд дэлхийн авраг болоод хүрээдэг ризаа юу?
Байна.
Ano?
За юу байна нэ?
Тандо зэфигэжин. Юу юм?
Лигээс финал хайрхийг авсан.
Тийм үү. Хэс мондын
Авраг авч ирэх авлаа. Тэгээд
баяр хүргэе.
баярлалаа. Тэгээ 3 удаа яг ногоон группт орсон.
Дараагийн тэмцээний хизээ хэрэг?
Финал нь 12-наас 14-ний хооронд. Нэр үгтэй санджээ.
Миний хэд дэлхийн авраг болоод хүрээдэг ризаа юу?
Тэнцэн давч.
Хэвтэй шүү за.
За хайртай шүү.
Амжиж.
За. Баяртай.
Three matches remain until we find out the final 2 teams that are going to be joining the rest of the squads in grand finals of the 2025 PMGC. I'm joined by Diego from Inference Ridge. Your squad, with just 3 matches remaining, you're only 14 points away from top 2. Going into the next 3 matches, what can this team do to just make sure you do enough to get in the top 2?
Então, indo para essas últimas 3 partidas, vocês estão ali com 14 pontos de diferença para o segundo lugar. E o que vocês vão adotar para essas últimas partidas? Questão de estratégia?
Acho que não tem muito que mudar de estratégia, só ajeitar nossa teamfight, porque pecamos em 2 quedas sobre teamfight. Porém, é continuar fazendo nosso jogo com uma boa mentalidade e é isso. Foco em passar para a grande final.
We're gonna maintain the same strategy, but we're gonna try to get more team fights, to be better in the team fights. I think that's what sliding us down a little bit is the team fights, but we're gonna be strong for the next 3 games.
Eliminations and I guess timing is the major factor for it, and something to keep out that I want to let the audience know has to do those teams that got absolutely nothing to lose. You already got J&G gatekeeping teams on the bridge in Erangel, and the squad from Falcons was telling me we might see the biggest comeback ever because that team is playing like they got nothing to lose. Let's see what they can do in the final 3 matches.
That's right. Nothing to lose, man. There's a lot of teams here that need to pull something out big if they want to make it into that top 2. Now, looking at the leaderboards, guys, we got quite a few squads that are in that 50-point range, right? And we'll talk about that in a second because we got to give some love, of course, to the Infinix GT30 series, the official gaming phone of PMGC 2025. Engineered for precision, performance, and victory, empowering every gamer to hashtag be the one and outplay the rest on the global stage. So big thank you to Infinix. We got the last 3 games to go, last Erangel, Max. So actually, I got a question for both of y'all, right? I would like both of you guys to pick a 50-point team, all right? Which team do you feel has the potential to make that push back towards the top 2? Right? And what do they need to do in order to get there? Max, I'll start with you.
Oh, I'm going to go Wolves Esports. I think that Wolves Esports have been looking really good in the past. Not the best day for them, unfortunately. The main issue we saw on Erangel is not going for these big game-winning positions, just trying to survive, and unfortunately kind of shuts down their later stage potential to rotate. And in this case, 9Z kind of did what I was hoping Wolves would do that previous game, which is just leave that western cliff because it was going east of prison, and unfortunately they don't do that and they get caught in the midst of that rotation. So I think Wolves can make it if they do that one adaptation in their next 3 matches of the day.
Oh, that's interesting. I think they need to up that aggression.
No.
I don't know. I see them getting positions and they're just not hitting those fights. What do you think, Neptera?
No, I kind of agree with both of you. I really like the macro that we're seeing. I like that we're seeing them further into the game as well. We're seeing them more often in the late game, but I do agree the aggression just isn't there for me, particularly in this game, right? We were talking about they just made a full send play to the shack, and it's not very aggressive. It's kind of desperate. I'd like to see more of that thought process being put into those micro movements, into the aggression. So for me, yeah, Wolves could definitely do it if they make those changes. So I kind of agree with both of you on that front. For me, though, if I had to pick a team, I'm going to go with the Burmese Ghouls, because for me, they've been such a great team. They've been such a confident team, like we've been talking about, right? We saw such a different side to them yesterday, but today they've been so quiet. It's like they're in the gauntlet, or the group stage rather, all over again. Like it's like day one for them, and I really hope that we can see them come back and come back stronger the way we've seen them before, because when they play like they did yesterday, they're a really good team, but they're just not being the team that we saw yesterday today, and I need to see that from them again.
I fully agree. I think all that confidence we've seen them build up throughout the course of this PMGC 2025 season has just kind of fizzled out today. It's very odd to see. We're not seeing that confidence anymore in these games, and they could still bring it back. There's some hope there, but unfortunately, when you lose that steam, the Burmese Ghouls don't stand up to me as a squad that, on a dime, they can instantly get back in the zone and get back in the mood. So I feel like they lost the steam here, Hodrix, and I don't think they're going to get it back. I know it's a bit brutal, but I just don't see it happening currently with what we've seen on a bigger scale of this squad.
Oh, man, these I'm looking at those last two Miramars with dread, because it's going to be so difficult for a lot of these squads. I think a lot of them are going to realize that it's over at this point, right? With all these 50-point teams, they need to win this Erangel. And honestly, they don't need that. They also need to find a way to stop Weibo from getting any more points. We saw some targeting in the last match with Loops. Do you think we're going to see it again here, Max?
Well, I think we could. I think Loops are hungry to initiate that ascent in the top 2, and they're going to try and secure that position. Maybe this game, depending on how things go, they could definitely make it happen. They're currently in 6th position, 57 points. One banger chicken dinner, Hot Jukes, and maybe we can see another America's team here make a push towards that top position.
Well, we heard Seven say the Falcons were looking to make a historic run. They're going to have to stop one of the top teams as well. Let's see what happens. Will these teams take fate into their own hands? Final Erangel of the day. Max, let's see what happens here.
Man, the nerves are getting to people now. 9Z Globan throw themselves from the top of a cliff and crash down at the feet of Geeke. Two teams who, frankly, don't really have a chance to jump up towards the top spots. So those final moments, not inconsequential, but certainly aren't going to affect those top 2 spots right now. Weibo able to establish a little bit of a lead, but again, it seems like maybe it's getting to them too.
It's only a small amount of a lead. I think that the 3-1 split was not bad. I think I would have preferred the 4-man push there. But again, they were trying to account for so many scenarios where potentially Alliance pushes out. I think if they knew it was Alliance, they probably would have gone for the 4-man push, because they would have realized Alliance is unlikely to push that. I think Alliance is a bit more of a passive team. But again, it's what you do now that really counts. But I think for Weibo, it was okay. It was okay. It was just they got outplayed. Realistically, they did just get outplayed on that northern edge by 9Z. It looked close. It did look close. In the meantime, nice playing path from the west to the east on Lipovka. We're going to have a stage report soon from 7, catching up with some of our players, or just going over how the day's gone and what he's been observing.
Yeah, I think that's more likely. Probably not wanting... 9CG definitely not wanting to talk to him after that game. They will have pushed him out of their booth as fast as they can. Weibo, of course, had a little bit more of an option. A little bit more of a chance, potentially. But they, again, threw themselves at 9CG. I suppose 9CG were like, well, you know what? Fair enough. Like, we got these points because... Weibo basically allowed us to have them, right? So it's only fair that we donate them back to the lobby. So they weren't losing their points so much as giving the points that they'd been given forwards. And, if it isn't the season of giving, then I don't know what that was about. Because, yeah, absolutely crazy. Geeke, though, they're hoping that they could do it again.
Alter Ego, they switch away from the western side. They're going to drop over towards Lipovka this time around, go for the Lipovka split. So 2 players in Lipovka, 1 player down towards Prison, and then another player up towards Mansion side. To get away from all the action that's been occurring on that northwest edge, which I think is completely fair to those guys, all things considered. EK in their hovercraft. moving over towards Sosnovka to start in Novorapnoye nice and early. Also grabbing hovercraft, very useful for them, at least in this early game. If they can get it towards the late game, even better.
At the moment, a tiebreaker for Alter Ego on that bubble. Second place, but only just by the skin of their teeth. A lot of teams left to go. We're heading over to the stage. Seven has the report. He's got the lowdown. He's got the goods. Let's see what he's found out.
Welcome to a quick report with the 7WG. I heard the devs wondering what happened between Alter Ego and Loops. Wondering if Alter Ego was maybe hot dropping them or if Loops was hot dropping them. It turned out to be just something with the rotations that they were doing. Those teams are going to be looking to make sure they don't end up with the same rotation once again.
There we go. A little bit of info on the team's rotations there coming through from Seven. Fantastic stuff. Getting that lowdown. The inside scoop coming on through. Beautiful stuff. Maybe more context, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, context is always nice, and I mean, it does make sense here. With Alter Ego moving over towards that eastern side, they have definitely ensured that that doesn't happen again, purely because they're nowhere near Loops here in the future. Loops didn't really change all that much, to be honest. I think it's more on Alter Ego here to make that change, which is fair enough. For Loops, they can keep barreling it down in South George. For Alter Ego, it makes all the more of a difference considering they are in that top two right now. I wouldn't personally want to leave it up to chance, and neither does Alter Ego. But the circle does head over towards our western side. It cuts in a little bit of Sosnovka. There's always that world where it could head down there. Highly doubt it, though. In the meantime, most teams will be preparing for a fields finish or over towards Quarry side in Primorsk. So you're getting a lot of these wide splits in areas where it's sort of feasible to do so. There's a lot of little compounds here and there that are available to be picked up that you can sit in and at least have some oversight of what happens around you in the circle. Getting that scouting done early, very important. Curious to see how Inner Circle deals with this because GK are on their eastern side now. They are not alone in Sosnovka. See how quickly GK does want to leave if they want to gatekeep on that side. Inner Circle, honestly, I am curious. I don't know what they're going to go for.
It's always a gamble. It's always a risk. They're on 54 points now, blank. And I said maybe it wasn't super consequential, but actually, you know, maybe they can do it, you know? Maybe GK can make it in. It's very unlikely.
There's been a lot of teams really pushing for points. I think that you're right that GK could do it, but to think that if you asked any one of us here on the broadcast if we think GK is going to be in top two, I think we'd say no. Regardless, they're giving it a good shot, giving it a good go. Arcred finding shots over towards Gen G, who are down the southwest side, helping out, honestly, in a circle, who probably could make that rotate now that they've lost 3 players. But that would require Inner Circle to... There's a lot of mind games here, because now Inner Circle will have to be very brazen and make the Western Bridge crossing again. But this time it is easier, but they don't know that.
I mean, that is true. Potentially a little bit more, a little bit softer. Looking at the record so far today, the first 2 matches, right? It feels like more than 2 matches, to be honest. I feel like I've aged about 5 years after watching those last 2 matches. But GK, they're feeling pretty youthful right now because they got 3rd place and 12 elims, followed by obviously the chicken dinner that we saw, and they got 9 elims for it. This is a massive, massive climb for them, right? The question is rate and consistency here. And GK haven't really shown that before, and we're hoping they'll be able to do so here. And speaking of consistency, Alter Ego looking to try and stay consistent up in the top spots, because right now they're right next door to Team Flash. They want to do their best to keep them at bay. So we see Gen G losing players there as they go on the replays.
I think that we also have to consider that we've had some pretty weirdo circles today.
Yeah. True.
Where it's not always super determined where and who's going to come out on top there does require you to have some very high skill. I think a lot of our strong teams have made it towards those end circles regardless, because they have good rotates. They're able to fight Alpha's position as well. Alter Ego very close to the flash now. Rosemary steps out. That should be a knock, and it is.
Ooh, very quick on the flash as well. Looking for that shutdown immediately. Doesn't quite get it, but the bleed out ticks down, and that will do the job, do the task. Papra Supermassive across the way. The spray is good. Either way, it goes to the Alter Ego tally. And they are now distinctly in second place. It's not a tiebreaker anymore, Blank, by 1 point against Inner Circle, who have yet to leave the military island.
Yeah, sorry, I was taken aback. It was like showing Rosemary. It was just a completely different dude on our screen. I was like, I don't think that's what Rosemary looks like. But yeah, we are getting our second circle on board now, which does head over towards Pachinki. Falcons, do your best, do your worst.
They're already 2-2 split. Look at that big split right now, a kilometer between them. And they're going to want to regroup onto these hills, or at least figure something out, because that is a nasty rotate needed for them. They flexed out, tried to hedge their bets again. Geeke, they're leaving. They're on the hovercraft fleet, and they've actually got quite a few going on. I think there was at least 2, probably 3, moving across. And Geeke can transition as a little bit of a bulldozer into the south side of the circle, potentially. Maybe coming into conflict with the Boars. Falcons have the roll-up sent their way, and Alter Ego here to play. Papra Supermassive as well are stepping to. Redox burns the door frame. Krypton doesn't connect. Will finally land the spray down. It felt like one of those shots should have done it, but Krypton gets knocked to the burn, and he's not down just yet. Alva, now the last to stand. All of a sudden, it's the Burmese Ghouls to play too.
3 down here. They get 1. Opens the door, crawls inside. I'll talk about it later, but I think for Alter Ego, they do need a big old reset on this one. Redox is out. Should be able to get the rest of the reses through fairly safely. That is a lot of teams in Pachinki. That's a lot of teams that all decided right now is the time to be in Pachinki. For the Falcons, oh man, I wish they'd regrouped earlier. And also, I think the Falcons too, they do this annoying thing on a Pachinki finish like this, or like at least a initial Pachinki zone. They'll play on like the western edge of Pachinki rather than just playing inside of it. Yeah. Oh well.
Might not even have that opportunity this time, kind of on the lock-in right now. They have managed to put 3 players on that western edge, but the center area a little bit more dangerous. You don't quite have the info with Redox going down. You assume it's going to be a little bit packed in there. Kamikaze for Papra Supermassive. They crashed in similar time to Alter Ego. Didn't want a third party on that north side. Might have been a real soft target for them, but with the Burmese Ghouls there as well chiming in, maybe too dangerous for Papra Supermassive's liking. They will play this east border of Pachinki instead, playing in the Storm Drain and seeing what they can find. That wasn't a knock there. That's Kamikaze going down, though, to Glory. Nearly getting across. Will be there, and there's the rescue, the pickup. Tron B able to find Glory 22 as well. So that will slow Arc Red from going on in. The res on Kamikaze needs to come in now.
Tron B, good shots from him to recover that for Papra Supermassive. It's a lot of teams in Pachinki. It's kind of weird the way the circles are panning out here in Last Chance. It was like, we're going for the big play. We don't want to play edge. We want center. We want big point. Please.
Oh, yeah. Give them big point. See what they can do. Geeke, they're going back and forth with Boars right now, but the Boars are still as 4. That bleed out, though, it's looking pretty deadly. The circle does keep Pachinki in, Blank, but the West Hills may be a little bit more favorable. I'm looking at Inner Circle right now, and they are in a circle for sure. And they may just be quitting for this match. If they could get a big game from this position, I'd be interested to see what Alter Ego are going to do in response.
Yeah, I think that Weibo is actually one of the few teams that's actually sticking to their guns here coming into the final day, which I like, right? You know, it didn't quite work out on that last game, so we got quite a few points off the back of it and are in first place. But yeah, I think they're the one team that, one of the couple teams that are just like, you know what, we're going to play our game. We're going to play edge. We're going to take these micro splits now and again, and then just go for our rotations, go for sweeps. Whereas there's a lot of teams that have all, like I said, just decided we want center. We want a huge game. And that is really hurting them. I think that Weibo and Alter Ego and Inner Circle are afforded that chance to play your own game, though, because you are so far towards the top side of the lobby, John. You don't have to make up as many points as these other squads in the next 3 matches.
Ooh, and Geeky getting cut down to size by the Boars. But it's not going easy for them, and Nerzet is still there. Ragnarok as well, and now Stoic's actually the last up. Okay, a turnaround for Geeky. They still want it. They are on 2 players alive, Blank, but they've got 4 elims. They're in 6th place now. Team Flash circling around, but they only have 3 as well. Potato Hill, the focus of it, and I'm surprised the Flash have flexed back out this way, given that the circle is all the way out to the west.
Goodness me. I mean, for teams, you're having a sort of a weird time with this one because Pachinki is definitely a focal spot, right? But you also have the fields on the western edge. So if you are an edge team, you are struggling to find a good spot to play. And I think at this point in time, you want to go stealth, right? You want to play out this game until stage 5 without really having to see any other teams too early. Wait until you can start sweeping a little bit more safely. I do think that for Falcons, although yes, that did not go well for them, they lost 1 player right off the rip. I do feel like sort of not entirely their fault, because the amount of teams rotating in towards Pachinki was insane, and I think that makes their rotation back towards Pachinki very strange, right? So there is all these, because everyone's going for high value plays, it's completely shifting up the way.
It's chaotic, it is messy, and the last chance, as we said, is getting to people. Geeky will be drawn short, so maybe their run is over. Arcred closing it out, and all the Pachinki teams now feeling pretty chilly as the circle shifts out west side. Blank, Influence Rage, Luke, 90 Globen, maybe here with a chance, but Weibo up the top, sitting pretty.
That's a killer. That's a killer of a circle. It's completely cutting out Pachinki because it is as hard as it can go over towards the west side. Goodness me. I mean, Luke's probably will have a nice game off the back of this. Influence Rage might be able to regain some momentum here on our last angle. Coops finds Ralph and Doran finds Koa. And for Falcons, now there were 1. Pretty unfortunate,
but it is not
approach towards the western side. I don't care at this point.
He's going to step up to the Burmese Ghouls, Blank, and I think we know which way you want this fight to go. The nade's already pin-pulled, and Arvalo's like, nope, okay, you guys stay there. I don't even want the judge. I'm gonna head back into Pachinki. Finish where he started. Alter Ego with a scrap at their doorstep here. Papra Supermassive trying to find it, but 2 knocks found. Back towards Papra Supermassive. An off angle, maybe a third party coming through, and a knock towards Alter Ego. No, Rosemary just about stays alive. Nico last standing. They tag the damage. Kamikaze is bleeding out. They'll turn their attention to Nico because the blue zone's here, and that will be Alter Ego claiming points now. With 3 players alive, Krypton dashing for the zone, and the Burmese Ghouls are down the hill to play as well. Ichi there, Yatka down on the top, so might need a res at Ichi too.
Yeah, really good shot there. I mean, as much as I back the Burmese Ghouls, I will always have to back the Falcons. As much as I feel like they make mistakes, I've spent so much time casting and covering these players that, yeah, I have to back them. Even though they are down in 13, you know, I do believe there's a future where we see a strong finish in PMGC Grand Finals from the Falcons. Ooh. It's just not right now. It's just not right now.
2 big fights right now. Weibo taking shots at Alter Ego, trying to defend their top spots. They don't want Alter Ego to come with them. And Inner Circle on the southeast side. Flank, a big nade come through from Weibo over towards Alter Ego. They're obliterating the competition. They're flushing them away. There's nothing to do. Inner Circle are falling in the meantime as well. It's just Falak remaining on that south side in the picture-in-picture. Blank. Big moves for the teams at the top of the tables. And it's only Weibo to keep it together.
Weibo with the damn Chinese fireworks take down Alter Ego. Oh my goodness me. What a nade over the top there. That was nutty. Well played to them. Again, they have bided their time. Now they can start to flex out a little bit. I think for Weibo at this point, yes, there have been some mistakes. Yes, there have been some hiccups, but they are clearly playing better than the rest of the squad, the rest of the lobby right now. It's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Just Rosemary remains after that barrage of the nades from Weibo. Playing on still in Pachinki and a wide wrap necessary towards Arcred. I mean, they've already taken down Inner Circle. We'll see what more they can do here. I don't think Rosemary is going to be long for this one. Maybe a point, maybe an extra one earned, but yes, it's pretty nasty. Out into the open we go, and Loops are cut in on their compound. And they're one of the teams that may be able to chase on in. They are quite far behind the bubble now. With 81 points being that second place. Hang on a minute, Rosemary.
Double.
Okay. Nades coming on through. Gen G chiming in as well from the back. Third parties over to Fred's position. Hardboy very, very low. Ramsey's now challenging Rosemary on his own. Look on the nade. Finds it. Not quite long enough there. And he dodges the damage. Rosemary in for the spray as the reses are coming through on the back line. Rosemary cannot hold his nerve against Ramses. And he will be able to shut it down. Alter Ego fall. 8 points now, the target for Influence Rage. For Loops maybe on the outside.
Arcred, though, they made a big change. I haven't really talked about all that much, but these last two, I complained they weren't making enough plays. They are now. They absolutely are now. Up to 5th place with 9 elims on this game. I am super happy to see it happen. I think Easy for Bad Boy is one of the biggest up-and-coming players. He is incredibly talented. But for Arcred, it is a big change in pace, big change in performance. Very happy to see it for this team.
I mean, time to turn around as well. I mean, you're right. They're in 5th place now. 9 points behind the bubble. So not this match, probably. But maybe in the future. I mean, second place keeps dropping like this. Burmese Ghouls making the cross. Weibo are backfilling on this as well. So they need to make this fight work fast. But Godspeed's already down. The Wolves are holding strong for now. Really not giving any quarter. The Wolves just about in this zone. Means that this building is prime real estate. As Godspeed's fallen, but Yatka and Unknown are still here. And Weibo not actually getting fully stuck in. A nade in doesn't quite... Oh, hang on a minute. It's still going. Eagle's feet, is he no? No, it's not going to connect. He's around the corner. And now Sook starts to strike. Burmese Ghouls should be falling. They will go down and out. Weibo will get 3 points. Wolves pick up to their elimination as well. And now they have to fend off. It's Weibo Gaming.
For Wolves, a very clean fight there. No one really lost any HP. Burmese the only ones to fall. Sook's going to make a wrap out to the side. He's a little bit slow. Might just get to his team before he gets knocked, but doesn't even fall there, which is great news. A little bit of tag on there from the Wolves up to 4 elims, but it is Hero to go down, and it's Loops taking some massive shots at distance. You can see that just spraying through the smoke. That's very surprising.
They've got Alliance as well right behind them, so Vina dedicated tailing of Weibo on the far hillside, but for now, they're all very low. Oh, and Coop steps forwards. He's doing so much. I don't even know where all those knocks came from, Blank. But either way, 88 points now. No chicken dinner. The top 2 have drawn to a close. Arcred, 11 eliminations on the southeast side. Influence Rage with nothing right now.
That was not Coop's attack. It was all Rafina.
Wait, what?
That was crazy. Just tapping through the smoke. He was knocking them left, right, and center. And he was just spraying across. That was incredibly on target. Like I said, it's like playing battleships there for Loops. And finally, they do sink Weibo. And because Weibo doesn't have a big game here, it's still all up for grabs. If they did get a strong game on this match with Alter Ego and Inner Circle out, that could have been them securing their position to the top 1. Very sad. Very, very sad for them.
Nades over Loops. They might have sunk a Weibo ship, but the Alliance trying to roll on in. Ooh, a team nade on the run out. I mean, it's a team molly. Another one. Oh, Alliance absolutely have this fight in hand right now. Luke looking like a different team. But the Wolves, they're moving on in. They're on the hunt. As a pack they go, Igor, Coops first in, and now Batten and Doran raging on through. Luke's not going to be able to control it on the back lines. The nades are here, though, and the bounce out is going to connect over on towards Doran. The Wolves send straight into the wall. Molotovs to burn, and they've used a lot of over towards Loops. Really not going to go for the resupply. That goes long, but it connects onto Batten. Doran is bleeding, and Coops is low. Where's the last player for the Wolves? They send all the way over the circle, and they're getting sent dizzy.
The Wolves go down to 2 players. The Fangs blunted on push. Nice nade over towards Ratto Boy, but just not quite on target. Needs to get through to the building. Coops now sending in. I believe it's a smoke there to try and cover off. Alliance also finding a lot of shots here, but the Wolves just can't find the value. They might get one elim off the back of this.
Stepping forwards, they're trying to get this crawlback covered off, so he knows he's going to go for the peak. Jimmy takes the window, moves out to try and control the ground. Healing needing to happen as well. You don't really have time for the res right now. The Wolves are going to hop in. The blue zone is pushing. Jimmy needs to be more on this push, but the Wolves slow down. They allow that one. The sticky on in, looking to try and get that flush. Is going to push them out of the way. Igor's so low, but he steps forwards. Not sure if he has any more healing to be putting on board, but has to step back to start to enact it.
Yeah, it's such a disgusting amount of chip damage that the Wolves are taking. I don't even know where it's coming from. In the meantime, Influence Rage chilling on the east side. They are happy as can be. He backs off. The Wolves push slightly further forward. Nova sightline's quite on this yet, but you can hear the tags inside the building. Getting close.
Ah, that's where they were coming from. Look at 9Z Globan's layout. They've got 4 players here, Blank. They are doing quite a bit, it has to be said. This angle, we'll see what more they can find as Arcred do go down. They have up on 65 points, though, Blank. That is a real jump up from their start of the day. And they too are within striking distance. They were definitely on the list of teams I was counting out, but they've really changed the story. 90 Globan, they can make up for lost games in that last one. Hopefully putting it back of their mind and not thinking about it too much, because they do have a run out to go for. The question is, where do you go right now? Because Influence Rage, the only team that's more towards the center of the circle, and they got 4 players.
Yeah, everyone's having a horrible time. Just, you know, next circle, if it goes center, everyone might just die in the next 2 minutes. And it does. That forces everyone out of position. This is such a disgusting final zone. Yeah, it doesn't favor anyone. For Influence Rage, they wish they went over towards the northeast side. A team in 6 to chase would have been huge for them. For the Flash, this is all about placement points. Getting over towards the top 4 would be fantastic to place them further in contention for that top 2. But this is so closely fought, and it's been so closely fought for so long.
Absolutely. On tenterhooks right now, see the conclusion, but Jimmy seems to have the line up. Igor goes through, about able to avoid the storm, but steps into another one. But he's got one of his own to dish back on out, and now Coops looking for that bandage, doesn't have a first aid to play with, and Jimmy already on the bunny hops, hopping his way over, and Coops can't keep his cool under pressure in that one. Influence Rage wanting to flex out a big round. Nice. An Alliance fall next. A third party to stop another competitor, and 90 Globan are falling out in the meantime. Influence Rage, they're moving in, taking down Team Flash, starting to put the pressure onto everybody in the lobby. They've been quiet for a while, but they take the opportune moment to flex it out.
Yeah, it's a fantastic push for Influence Rage. They even leave a backstop over towards the east side as that secondary angle. Really, really well done. I think Influence Rage absolutely deserve to win this game. In the midst of all this chaos, they even get lured towards the center of the circle. Oh, I love this from this team. This is some classic Brazilian gameplay.
And now they're looking for the last. Quick is out for Gen G. They want to keep it going, but he's put to sleep quickly. It's Influence Rage looking to mount their ascent as well. Every single team that's won a game today, Blank, has done so at a crucial juncture. And now the Brazilians will join them too.
Yeah, honestly, such a good game from Influence Rage there. I don't think you could ask for that end game to be played any better, honestly. So well done. But now we're heading over towards Miramar. That was our final Erangel of the day. No more classic wins. But to be fair, a lot of those circles were really brutal, especially that last one. And I think for Influence Rage, they see the circle and they understand we need to make a play for gold right now. And like I said, everyone was going to go down the next 2 minutes. It was sooner than that.
Well, let's head back over to the desk to break it down. Every Erangel is done. We're over to Miramar next. What have you guys got to say?
Influence Rage pull out the chicken dinner in the final Erangel of the last chance, and oh, did they needed it. They were in the 3rd place position at the start of this match, man. They would drop down to 5th, but with this win, it's definitely got to kind of push them back up to possibly grab one of those top 2 spots. What a finish from this Brazilian squad.
I mean, what a game. So controlling, so decisive, so snappy, especially going for the right fights at the right time, as Blank said at the end of that game. This is classic Brazilian gameplay. How aggro they were was actually crazy in this game. And look, even the stragglers at the end are like, yeah, we're just going to push it. We want those eliminations. Do you think you're going to be allowed to deny that point to the blue zone? Hell no. You're in our house. And this is going to be our point to get. 2-2-2 split across Law, Lil Boy, and Federal. Jago not getting much as he goes out earlier in this game. But regardless, wait, zero down. They. No,
wait,
is this correct?
Wait, is this correct? No.
Is this no?
Wait, no knockouts. Wait, guys, wait.
I do not believe this. If this is real, this is mad.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah, no, that can't be right. That can't be right. Okay, we're gonna move past that real quick.
So this is different.
Yeah. Yeah,
actually, no, it wasn't a knock. It was an instant elimination. Oh no, maybe they did get 0 knocks because that was an instant. They didn't go the knock. It went right into a finish because it was the final player. Maybe they did get 0 knocks there. That makes sense actually because it was instant every time. The final player of Alliance was Jimmy. So that tracks. The 0 damage though taken is crazy.
The 0 damage taken is crazy. It also tracks out with the amount of damage that they delivered, right? Because there's like less than 200 for most of them, so that does make sense that they were picking off knocks that were already down. So okay, interesting, cool. I mean, that's a fantastic win coming out of them. I want to say specifically that the push over onto Alliance was fantastic because that gave them 2 compounds now to use as a springboard against the rest of the lobby. Oh, what a nade coming in from Weibo. But I'm really happy with how Influence Rage actually used that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to pay attention to this in particular. How were loops? I want to say it's a mix of skill and luck. How do you hit those shots through the smokes at that kind of range? Just is beyond me. I have no clue how that worked out. And you know what? Fair to Wolves. Super willing to third party, right? And I'm sure like they go for the third party, they eliminate all of Weibo, then they wrap behind Alliance, start to make that entry point onto Alliance and Loops combined. Wolves, I think, are feeling how desperate they have to be to make that climb. And you know what? So far, it paid off getting 8 points on this game.
Yes, that's great stuff coming in there. It's actually Jukes. Wait, hang on. Sorry. There's 8 points for Gen G, Alliance, and Wolves. Alliance and Wolves both need those points and are very close to each other. So that's going to be an interesting thing going into Miramar here, where they're getting those. They're kind of tying up here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to push them up a little bit. I still think they're going into the desert, though. They're going to need a win. I think they definitely need to. I love the fact that Wolves pushed onto Weibo, right? Not just considering that they need those eliminations, guys, but they knew. They knew that Weibo was right there. And considering that that's the team that's in the top spot, If you can make that risk to take out that team early, you have to take it. You have to, because if those top teams get more points, no matter what you do, it's just not going to work out. So I like the fact that Wolves were active. I even like that crazy wraparound push towards the end there for them, but it's just unfortunate they had 2 go down.
Yeah, it was a little bit rough. Still a really good attempt, though. Looking at Arcrid, they got 11 eliminations, 1 placement point, going absolutely ham in the mid-game section of this match, and actually able to completely outplay Inner Circle. And looking at Inner Circle, 2 points. I was looking at their position this game. In my opinion, massive throw from Inner Circle. You have one of the best positions this entire game on Pachinki Hill, and they go for this 2-2 split, putting 2 players away from Pachinki Hill, which reduces the defense you set up in that position, and Arcrid just completely demolish you on that fight. I think Inner Circle were just not setting themselves up for success. Compared to Federal, that definitely was set up for success this game, and finally, you know what? He was benched for a little bit here, Niptura, but he's back and swinging hard with that MVP award for this match.
He is back, he is swinging, he's doing all the things, and that is exactly what you want to see when you're going into the final 2 games of the day of the league stage for PMGC, right? When it's all down to the wire, when whether you move on to finals or you go home tomorrow comes down to 2 more games. This is a fantastic win for them. I love the mentality we saw in that last game, right? To just, they flipped the switch. They just went from, we're sitting in a compound taking shots at different teams, to actually, we are going to win the whole thing, and they just went for it into the field. I love seeing that. It does put them up into 4th place. They are tied with Inner Circle, so Inner Circle have only gotten, what, 3 points in the last 2-3 games, but they're still in that top 5. It's still all to play for, Max.
Holy moly, look at Arcrid, 13th position at the start of the day. These last 2 games have been just fantastic for this team from Uzbekistan. They're up in 6th rank, and genuinely, they are, what is that, 16 points away from top 2 from Ultra Ego? Hey, maybe they could do one of the biggest comebacks we've ever witnessed here at PMGC Hot Jukes.
It's possible. It is possible. I mean, it's going to leave it up to Miramar here. So many squads. I love how close this is, guys, because, I mean, even if you go down to, like, I mean, you can go pretty far down the leaderboards if teams win back-to-back chicken dinners, right? But it's still so possible here. So I want to see teams just go out, like, crazy here, right? You got nothing to lose. You got to make it happen. But, you know, Niptura, I really want you to break down probably one of the hardest things we've seen so far, right? And that is Inner Circle. It's very reminding of the Wolves during the Gauntlet, right? Because on the final day, the Wolves won Rondo, and then nothing during Aaron Gale. And it's the same thing here, right, for Inner Circle. 4 points in 3 matches of Aaron Gale. I mean, how do they bounce back here in Miramar?
Oh, it's going to be tough. I think when they won the Rondo, I was a little bit worried because that's the same thing they did in Group Green, right? They had the first game on Rondo, massive elims. We were like, that's it. They're done. They're ready to go to finals. And then they did nothing the rest of the day. And actually, the rest of the 3 days. So I saw that today and I went, oh, I really hope you turn this around and do something with it. They've done a little bit, but not anything what we need to see from them. For me, it feels like they're trying to be too big brain just slightly here with that 2-2 split they were trying to do over Pachinki. I understand they're trying to find more reach, but that was not the place to do it. That was not the time to do it. Once the zone shifted away, they were way too slow on the rotate. They were trying to gatekeep other teams, and for them who thrive in the end game, I think that was the wrong play. They needed to actually prioritize the next zone a lot more than they did. So hopefully in the Miramars, where there's a little bit more room to actually make those big rotations, then I'm hoping that's what we're going to see here, Jukes.
Max, if Weibo win this next match, they're going to the finals. That's a fact, right?
Yep.
So, what do other teams do to try and stop the squad? I mean, do you think you just play a regular match and hope for the best? Or if you happen to realize that this team's there, you go for them? What do you think?
I don't know. You know what? It's down to every team what they want to try and execute this game. Could you try and target the top teams? Yes, but I think they're just going to try and play their own game and try and just get a good finish here. Make it top 3 is going to be very important for these squads. So I'm looking at so many teams. Just don't take early skirmishes. Avoid it like the plague. Keep the team alive until circle 5, 6, 7, and maybe you have a chance to make that redemption arc and go into the top 2.
You're right. It's just too close. Too close at this point, guys. We're going into the desert here. Last 2 matches. Who could possibly get one of these last 2 spots? Casters, take it away.
Oh, it's so close. It is just so close. Right down to the wire for all of these teams. Their feet stumbling over the rocks of Erangel, over around the prison, into the chaotic fields to the west of 100, you're starting to get in the conversation. Getting over 110, you're feeling okay. Over 120, you're feeling very safe. But those numbers are slipping down and down as time goes on, Blank, with only 2 maps left to play. And we've still got, you know, maybe 20 points or so still to add towards those tallies. It's really not looking like we... I wouldn't be too surprised if we don't even break the century. I think that that's definitely a possibility moving forwards. I think 88 points, 12 points in 2 matches, it may just not happen.
Heading over towards the northwest side here. Overall, Alter Ego has had some good splits on this map. But again, it's that greed that they need to really rein in a little bit. Team like Smaug at the moment. Flash only 1 point behind on 80. Influence Rage on 77, tied within a circle. Goodness me. I mean, I'd be happy if Weibo, Alter Ego, the Flash, Influence Rage, all in a circle got into the top 2. No matter which one of those teams get in, I'd be very pleased to see them in the grand finals. I think they all deserve it at this point. All of them so close towards the top. Just a little bit sad. I think I'm most sad about some of these squads not making it through in the gauntlet. And we could have had a very ridiculous lobby going through in towards the grand finals.
I think no matter what, we kind of do have a pretty ridiculous lobby going in towards the grand finals. It's just a question of who will make up those last 2 spots. We've already decided the majority of our players, and actually some of them are already over there, Blank, getting stuck in, getting ready, prepared on site. They'll have time to settle in, which would be nice for them. But it is very much more unrested here at the last chance stage. Weibo looking to defend that top spot again, and 2 opportunities now to have come up big in matches that could have really changed the tide and locked them in, but it's not to be.
In the circle, starting in Picado, not a bad approach to the north side of the map around El Pozo. Falcons get to start early there. They do enjoy this spot. The Wolves in Monte Nuevo as well also have a good run out towards this position. Alter Ego and Weibo a little bit further out, and they have to deal with that wall of squads around Power Grid, San Martin, as well Hacienda. So a little bit more difficult to rotate through there, but still possible. Still very, very possible. We'll wait and see, though. I think that, again, this next 5 minutes probably going to be very quiet, very slow, methodical on the rotates.
That's what you hope. That's what you hope to see. But it is now really do or die in the desert here. Influence Rage after that chicken dinner sit right now 4 points behind the bubble. Definitely in with a chance in a circle as well. The exact same spot, but losing the tiebreaker right now. I think the most interesting additions to this middle of the pack are Arcred and Geeke, right? Geeke, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but last match may have been just a little bit too slow for them. They did massive, massive performances at the start of the day, but it has petered out just a little bit, and they find themselves 58, which, you know, being 22 points behind the bubble, 23 points behind the bubble now. Yeah, that's a tall order when everybody else is ahead of you also trying to chomp down on that lead.
Yeah, look to make some cash on these next 2 games. Like I said, going to be slow here. El Pozo, kind of a regroup coming through from the Falcons. They still have an outpost over on the eastern side, up on the mountaintop. They are sort of on a 3-1 split. I think IQ knows, though. You can see here on our screens. He has a good idea of where a player from the Falcons is playing. Pretty typical spot to hold as well, so fair enough for him to immediately point that out.
Novalo on the high ground. Already out to the east side. A little bit split from the rest of the team, and let's hope that they don't maintain too much of a split for too long, Blank, but I mean, the Falcons should be done. There's no real chance of them making it their way on in. But they are top performers here of Miramar. And that is mostly because of their one massive game on Miramar. That only comes from the stats from yesterday. And we saw what they could do with the high ground. Will it go to the high ground again? I mean, it's not impossible. Oh, Redox, he might not be going to the high ground, though. He tried. He tried his very best.
Skating it down the hill. Fair enough. Yeah, we're definitely just waiting for the first circle here, because this first circle, or second circle, I mean, but this first circle can contain so many players. It's really not a big deal for a lot of our squads. It's unlikely we'll see initial skirmishes. It really depends how aggressive teams want to get. It looks like for Alter Ego, that's very.
They're going to try and chase this one down. Dammy trying to heal up, trying to get a little bit of healing on board before the fight comes to him. Alva's here. They will not give him the time to do so. He steps out, not even going to take any damage in response. Has to step back in. The rest of Gen G are taking shots out towards him, but it's too late to save Dammy. You're not going to be able to recover that one. And first blood is drawn. And it is on our second place bubble team. They get that point. They're now one further point ahead. And as we know, single points make the difference.
I can make all the difference. If the Wolves, one additional point was awarded from yesterday, but they're not quite there yet to make that additional point count. So we will wait and see. In the circle, down towards that south side, you can see here, you have a little bit of a wide split on. It's not quite as ridiculous as some of the splits we've seen. But they are trying to control a lot of space on the south side of El Pozo. And we got 20 seconds now before we see the first zone shift. And this could be quite diabolical, right? Could head over towards El Pozo. Oh my god, Alter Ego is just not stopping.
And they're going for Influence Rage as well, Blank. The team in fourth place right now. The nade over is good, though. And they may be delivering them points when it matters the most to not allow them to come on through. The circle shifts out to the east side, Blank, out towards San Martin, and Weibo Gaming sit right in the middle of it. But the nades keep on coming. And Alter Ego and Influence Rage may just tear each other apart here. You've got Gen G on the south side and Alliance on the north. Both teams could have access to this location and get a third party stuck in.
Alter Ego being extremely aggressive. I think I like this decision from them. They just leave. They just leave. There's no reason to stay here anymore. They'll play on us 3. For them, they understand that right now, probably 6 to 8 points is what they're looking for, right? Anything lower than that is going to hurt their chances. In a circle, move over towards the Burmese Ghouls. Yatka with a nade inside the building, switches to the S12K, looks for the big spray down, but not quite finding any value just yet.
He's going to step out to the open, and Geek are in the hills around it. Falak spots him as he bounces the nade off the backboard, and Noki able to slam dunk it. The alley-oop coming through from inner circle to be able to find the first. Over onto the Burmese Ghouls, who have rocked up on the north side of things, and no knock sent back towards inner circle. They're actually only sent towards Geek up on the hills to the south. So nice news for, again, team 5th place now, neck and neck still with Influence Rage. Team Flash, though, looking to join the fighting as well as Geek clash with them on the south edge. It is still going, and every team in the top 5 is getting aggressive.
They're getting stuck in. They're absolutely getting stuck in. Flash with 2 elims is really big news for them. Push them a little bit closer. Geek, Kevin, fast left here, alongside with Nerzed. Shots do come through, but the angles are all over the place. Rosemary gets knocked by Geek. The Flash is still helping.
And Team Flash, they're up into second place now, just about. Rosemary crawling back, looking for the res. Gen G keeping them on lockdown. This is really central on the circle. But they are just going to keep themselves alive for a little bit longer. Alva steps out, gets the knock, and just about dodges the damage from the nade as well. This is a really good pickup for them, and Alter Ego may just be there. Snape not going to be playing with them this time around anymore. They are busted down to 3. And Quick sits across the road. I don't think you can go for that cross. I don't think you want to go for that cross.
Oh, not entirely. Nades are still coming through from Satan up on high, though. And Quick looking to find those jump outs if an A gets a little bit too close. Wonder how Gen G is going to play this. Yeah, for Alter Ego, they've got very aggressive in this game. I think they want to close things out here and now from the way that they're playing. They just want a big match, and it is that a little bit of impatience. I can understand it for a lot of our squads. You know, you want to get ahead as quickly as possible.
I mean, you need it, right? But everybody's doing the same thing. Maybe just trying to batten down the hatches would be a good idea. The Falcons still on a 1 kilometer split at this stage on the position that they hold is crazy. Redox finds himself in a wild spot. Papra Supermassive of the Wolves now going back and forth. The knock onto Coops Resible for the next about 50 seconds. After that, it's going to get a lot tougher. So the Wolves need to make sure that that's coming on through. I think they are picking them back up. Get that healing through. Papra Supermassive still under threat. The spray down onto Nico doesn't connect, but it does a little bit of damage. He's looking for more and shuffling around, looking for the healing as well. Igor not quite able to find the angle. The healing comes through, but is it going to be enough? The blue zone's still here, and Coops is back in the fight.
Yes, it's such an uncomfortable delay now for the Wolves. Molotov is in, cuts him to the corner, but the nade is... The pin's put back in there. I really don't think he should have done that. The nade doesn't do any damage. I think whilst that Molotov was forcing him into the corner, that's where you send the nade in. Yeah, this fight's taking way too long.
No nades for Nico. Dropping the smoke, just trying to stall this one out. Make it not worth it anymore, but the Wolves are pursuing their prey doggedly. They are just so set on getting this one. They do still have a little bit of time here. Maybe to play around with as Red and Balls are clashing in the meantime. Igor stepping up, but they're just getting sprayed down. They're getting tagged back, and Batson actually falls to the spray. Papra Supermassive, it's not been possible to hold this, and he finds the second. Wolves, no! The Coops is going down as well. Kamikaze does get knocked in response, but they've lost half of their players. They stay far too long, and Papra Supermassive will punish.
It's so uncommitted there from Batten. I think he should have just kept pushing his teammate. If he gets knocked upstairs, that's way better than getting knocked as he's running away from the solo player. And you got to trust in your teammate to refrag that, right? I think the mistake comes that they just don't trust in one another there. And Wolves will suffer because of it. Again, this is such a long journey they have to make. I think Wolves won't get a good game off of this one, and that might have just killed their run.
May well have done. A lot of casualties being felt across the board. Geek are down to 1. Papra Supermassive now down to 1, as we've just saw. Well, pretty much as Kamikaze will bleed out. Gen G on 2. But the Wolves and Arc Red going down so low is the big news here. Arc Red, again, not able to jump up. And the fact that Team Flash are on 3 elims, Alter Ego on 2, both of them in this next circle, along with Weibo, that is a terrifying prospect for the teams looking to chase. But maybe Influence Rage on the north side towards Crater Fields can change that.
Yeah, I think it really is coming down to this top 5 now, especially as we get in towards our next game. It's going to be this top 5 battling it out for first and second place. I think we are just losing too many squads around the middle of the pack there. Wolves likely to go down a little bit sooner. Oh my goodness me. Okay, Redox. Go off, I suppose.
Hit some of the 1v3 on the DBS shutdown. Look at the rest of the team. They're all the way out the west flank. That was a full 1v3 against the Burmese Ghouls. Redox, he's been delivered. And now calling for the rest of his team to come and help, come and back up my position because it's in the circle. What more could you want? Arc Red down to 1 player as we zoom in on Ramses just as the nade connects. Snoix blasts him back on the staircase and they fall 65 points and 1 match to play.
I think for the Boars, you know, I think they've stepped up in a big way. I think it's been a really good learning experience for them. 100%. And I think that teams might be a little bit more worried when they have to come back up against them in their own region. Nico says bye-bye to the camera.
Bye-bye.
And likely bye-bye now to their chances going through to last chance entirely. After Supermassive down on 31 points. Big disappointment for me personally. I think Papra Supermassive has some unbelievably good players. Genuinely, I think they got lost in the sauce at PMGC.
Yeah, I mean today especially, who can blame them? It's been crazy. what has happened today. Ooh, Gen G knocking themselves. That's very close to the middle, though. I think they are just dropping down from the high ground there, potentially. Weibo, no elims just yet. But the Boars, maybe, stepping into the firing line against them. They're giving a lot of ground here. Weibo are allowing the Boars up and to this ridge line. They don't need to hold this side of the compound, but okay, no, Soup does rebuff them a little bit. He's backed off himself, however, and has to go for the first aid. Oh, stuck into the bandages. He's only got the one. It's precious.
Yeah, you got to hold on to that. I think this is fine from Weibo, playing this close. You don't really want to play any closer than this, John, personally. You just take shots at them as they crest the ridge. I'm kind of curious to what Weibo wants to do next, though. Do they want to fight this, or do they want to back away? Sook's looking to maybe get an off angle on this one.
Keeps looking for him, and Halflick again is spotted, darting around, scattering like a school of fish as the shark approaches. But it's Alliance, actually, taking shots from back up north. They're taking the third-party shots, and the Boars really can't put too much pressure on because of it. Team Flash, they sit on the south side, and this is a very split single solo player right now under the pressure from Inner Circle, who actually divert away from it. Looks like they want to play more on the south side as T24 hops in for the buggy. And they are figuring out where they want to go right now.
For Inner Circle, it is awkward, but I think that this crash over towards the Flash is probably the smart decision to go for. TS gets in the buggy, drops back out again, and Inner Circle, goodness me, Falak taking a whole lot of damage. That Molotov should do the trick.
Just about. The first aid came through just in time for Falak. Off through, burning into the smoke. As the spray downs to the back line, going to suppress the rest of the roster. 90 Globan getting stuck in. Falak still lighting up the shack. The weapon swap is there. Steps in and just about wins the trade. The flashes are coming through, though, onto the rest of Inner Circle. They've lost one. So have Team Flash. So have Alter Ego. These teams around the bubble are now starting to suffer. But this hillside claimed by Inner Circle. Next circle shift comes through.
I reckon people analyze that to death. That was a very clutch play there from Falak. Super mechanically gifted. Gets hit by the Molotov, immediately jumps into the buggy closest to the shack, jumps back out again, and then just waits for those shots to come through. The prediction on when the shots would stop there through the smoke was really good as well. But for Inner Circle, they are down to 2. So no matter how flashy you can be here, I don't know if they'll be able to get the points total upwards to take on Weibo and the Flash here, and potentially Alter Ego, who has held this very safe and passive position on the eastern side for quite a while.
They are hopefully going to keep racking up elims later into the game. That's what they're looking for. Against Weibo and Boars, though, and Alliance potentially look at a crash or take control of their position, take shots that way. It could be dangerous. Falcons did not manage to fully regroup onto the position. And Ralph will go down. They're nading out right now towards Loops, but Team Flash gets central. Blank, they are into a compound, and again, they're in second place right now. This is not what Alter Ego wanted to see.
Some pretty nice nades, honestly, from the Falcons. Not quite finishing the job just yet, though. Does tag on. Smoke train set up to try and get a little bit closer to get those nades into position, but I think now, with the Flash being here, the Falcons would rather chill things out. Sadly, they are at the back of the queue between these two teams. Flash and Loops ahead of them. No ammo on the Evercam. Oh, now he does.
Got a little bit more. A little bit more to play with now. Weibo slowly creeping forwards. Teams breathing down their neck. The Boars, the ones to step up to the plate against Sook. He'll immediately find that first knock. Step back. That is a bold peek from Sook, going for another one there after already taking some damage. And rightly so, has to tuck back in. There goes his first aid. That'll be topping him back up. Hero playing a little bit further back, and Sook under pressure from nades now. Doesn't quite go the distance. Snowex not able to connect. Drops the smoke, and Weibo regroups south. They're looking to move in and actually might be able to find the corner of Falcon compound right now that Valo is stretched out towards. The question is, will he be able to hold? Because the Boars are rampaging in behind them as well. Could be a third party to assist on this push, because Sook still holding that backline.
Huge shots from Sook there. Sadly, 33Z is down, and it's all down to Hero, but he gets taken out by Snowex once again. Absolute menace inside the lobby. They're hoping to keep 3 players alive. Hero's trying to wrap away as fast as he can, but Snowix is not going to let it happen, which drops Weibo down to just 2 players.
Havlik down as well. 2v2. And Alter Ego could potentially flex out for a third party, but I don't think they want to leave the safety for too long. Rosemary back on in. It is going to be the first pickup. Sook again, just storming through this one. Now up to Snowix, looking for the shot down, looking for the shots. Snowix falls, but Narvalo is moving. He's moving for the Falcons out of the corner of the compound. He's going to be the one to move up a third party. Just all remains, and he spots him. It's Narvalo to slay Weibo. And now they are down with 91 points, locking it in there. That is... I mean, it's not the century blank. They are 9 points shy. There are teams that can step up through this.
I mean, it's a crazy flex out from Narvalo. Again, though, weird 2-2 split from Weibo, allowing the 2 players through. And then to be quite fair, 33Z and Hero have such a weak source defense on that. If I'm Order as well as Sook, I'm a little bit disappointed in my teammates, honestly. So... for Weibo, that's a very frustrating way to finish here on this game. The Flash chasing, Alter Ego chasing. Good shots from Alliance towards Influence Rage, but they've dropped 2 players already.
Ooh, and placement points are coming in as well. Influence Rage should be able to get the res onto Law. They have got the time. Little Boy with the high ground, hunting ground underneath him. Alliance under a lot of pressure here. They're both going to have to move at similar times. I think Alliance just about closer to the zone. And that backstop will have to move, but they have the vehicle there. And Little Boy can't expend too much ammo. For Influence Rage, they've been on this north side, and they only have 1 elim so far. Law's still down. There's Team Flash. Oh, Team Flash. Team Flash getting eliminated there. And that goes through to Loops and Falcons, taking 1 apiece. So second place is now stopped dead in its tracks. For Alter Ego, for Influence Rage, that's some more good news.
Some great news. And for the way that Influence Rage is currently playing the lobby, might be able to push themselves quite far ahead here in this game. However, towards a second place, potentially even a first if it's a ginormous match. They have 4 players. They have high ground to work with. 9Z Global on the sidelines. Alliance pushing through now, but great shots from Krypton. Now looking at the flush as well, which is very, very important to Alter Ego, and they do grab it.
Making sure that they can keep up the numbers as well. Alliance do manage to get the flush onto Law, so that is now Influence Rage on 3. Little Boy still up on the high ground, actually. They're going to heal and stay out wide. He's really committing to this. They're really committing to this. He knew he was going down there, Blank. I'm not too sure what he was darting out for. Not playing on his 3, though, for Influence Rage. Feels like a misstep.
Yeah, I mean, if he grabs that angle and is able to dart back in, sure. But for Influence Rage, that just feels like a mistake to me. Good shots from Diego so far. We'll find Leon. First aid kits. Quite a few of them there for Influence Rage, and quite a few bandages as well. For Alter Ego, this is their big chance. Right, this is their big chance. Hopefully they just don't get shot through a blanket of smoke by Loops, who seem to be playing in a submarine. Working off radar, apparently.
Can't see him that way. Absolutely. The Falcons joining them in their compound as well.
Oh, they are. But that's the thing.
There we go. Yeah. Submarine Commander Neil Zada. That's the hunt for Alter Ego. Continues. Their run out is really, really tricky. They're right up into the edge of it. Anti Globum, by the way, with a big lineup on this western edge. 4 players, high ground. They're looking pretty good right now, Blank. I wouldn't be too surprised if they're able to find a chicken dinner, but we know what they're like when they're on the high ground. They just jump straight off.
Exactly. This is worrying. There is a cliff involved here for 9Z Globum, but it could be a big chicken dinner for them, which again sucks away points from teams that desperately want them. Initial knock here for the Falcons, and that nade does not do the trick. It's a double. Falcons looking for more here over towards Vitin.
Koa moving around, looking for that flush. Neil Zada spotted on the inside, but Vitin stepping through. Alter Ego crashing in the meantime. This is a beautiful opportunity for them to sweep through. Loops are down. Falcons now need to hold. There are only 2 players alive, and Koa gets mashed up. Redox jumps out wide, finds Alva. Darts back behind the wall, and will look for the first aid, but might not have time. Rosemary stepping forward. Rosemary stepping forward. The Falcons, they have 10 elims, but Alter Ego now up on 6. They can look up for the high ground and wonder why they aren't up there themselves, though, because the circle's here. And 90 Global are crashing in. Influence Rage, they're starting to step through, and everything's popping off now.
Genji doing a great job here, having Satan fighting off against 9Z Globan. Very difficult task, but made it happen regardless. Alliance getting a lot of revenge here over towards Influence Rage. Just Diego on the high ground, but Jimmy so low. Might just be able to get this res off. 4 relives on the game into a top 3 as well, John. That's big points, but is it enough?
9Z Globan, yeah, they're going to spot Federal. No way that Diego can get that res. He just doesn't have the time. Alter Ego now moving out. 9Z Globan have isolated themselves up onto the top of a hill. Oh, it's nasty, but they're moving now back down through. Alter Ego have used this opportunity to move in. In the meantime, they're playing as 2. They don't have the numbers to fend this off fully, and they're hoping that Diego can put a dent into 9ZG's hold. Diego, though, will not be able to do so. Rosemary, Krypton, what have you got?
No matter what happens here, to be honest with you, for Alter Ego, 6 limbs in a 2nd place, that's a good amount of points. They love a chicken dinner. Highly unlikely versus these angles. I think 9Z Globan should have this under wraps.
By rights, yes. But I mean, there's another circle still yet to come. Tag on to Krypton, though. Makes it a little bit tougher. Only the 1 first aid, drops the smoke, doesn't want to contest on that ground, but might not have a choice. Krypton, the spray challenge is there, and Remix wins it. Rosemary in the vehicle, not there for the refrag, careening off the side, dashing away, trying to get to the blue zone, desperately deny the points, but 9Z Globan do find a chicken dinner. And I mean, there's a little bit tempered there, because Alter Ego, with that game, have taken the top spot.
Huge. Very, very good. I mean, for Alter Ego, they have been consistently towards the end game every single match today. And say what you will about this squad, I think that, yeah, they are greedy at times, but they are still putting up points here and there. I think that's something they do need to fix going towards PMGC, but the fact that they can still make those mistakes and stay on top of the lobby, it's very, very impressive.
What a time to find a game. Again, these points are coming in so crucially, and we are still undecided as to who's going to be in the top spots. Even with that game, Alter Ego not safe up on the pedestal. So many teams ready to take the spot from them. Who's going to be the 2 to make it through? 1 more match to play, and the desk is going to set us up for it. Let's head back over to Hot Jukes and the gang.
And it's the Latino squad of 9Z that pull out the chicken dinner here in the first Miramar out of the 2 we're playing here towards the end. I mean, this whole game, you could just feel the tension in the air, Max, man. Just straight nerve-wracking gameplay. And of course, the team that's pretty much, you know, got nothing to lose at this point, they're the team that wins it, right?
It always happens. It's just the team that we're not paying too much attention to. They're like, how about we have just the best day ever for us of the entire tournament? And it's like, well, great. A little bit too late, though, unfortunately for you. But you know what? Still a really good game from 9Z Globan, playing passive on the western side of Crater Field and able to get full control. Not even allowing Rosemary to deny that point. He was like, let me out to the blue, let me out. And they still confirmed that extra elimination. So that is good for them to get. And here we go. Get himself a total of 7 elims. Kolega able to pop off pretty nicely this game, Niptra. GG's.
Yeah, I'm also looking at Raze though, Max. Look, 0 eliminations and 600 damage. He was out up on top of that mountain, which I really liked the angle he was able to take there and just give all the information that he could to his players. But yeah, 0 eliminations, that's a really interesting strat, because I think more often than not, we see a few more elims coming their way, but that damage just fencing teams in to where his players wanted them to be is really great from him.
Yeah, well, good for 9Z, right? Let's get into the meat and potatoes, right, of what we got going on, right? Alter Ego making it towards the end game here, Max, man, and putting up points right when they needed it.
And I was scared for Alter Ego because they had that early clash with, I think it was Influence Rage, right? And it was like, well, this is a bit weird, and especially because Influence Rage saw they got an elimination and they were like, oh, that's Alter Ego. I'm very happy, and also I think it was a little bit lucky that they were able to get away with 3 players alive, so still it works out great. The Redox, the clutch master, generally one of the best clutch players versus the side of Burmese Bulls. How does Redox keep doing it?
Dude, clutching it up. Clutching it up here, Neptura. We love to see those big plays, especially towards the end, right? I mean, we thought Falcons were going to make this crazy comeback. At least that's what we heard from Seven, and they tried. I like to see that here, Neptura.
Yeah, I like to see the try because we know that if they try, they can succeed. It's just, for some reason, not working out for them. They did have some really great plays in this game. I'd like to see a little bit more of that spread out coming through, but I think a lot of that mountainside really worked against them because that high ground is just perfect. And you see there, Alter Ego actually able to just move in, push at the perfect time. A great third party onto that.
The little thing that I found quite interesting in this game, we did see the ASM Abacan being used by Influence Rage with the burst mode on the ASM Abacan that shoots 2 bullets at insane level of accuracy. So really good to see them use it because at that kind of range, especially versus Leons from the side of Alliance, that was a very good mode to put your ASM Abacan in. So small detail, very, very impactful indeed. And by the way, 9G Globant, wait, I didn't even realize this. They dropped Los Higos Island south and go for the wildest rotation, just like on their angle, almost win next to Prison. They love wide rotations. It worked out great for them, but they're going into the later stages of this game. I really want to highlight one thing, which is that third party of Alter Ego. They're playing in the valley side next to the road. They're chilling. No one's fighting them. But the moment the fight breaks out between Loops and Falcons in that southern compound, the timing of that third party of Alter Ego was so beautifully executed that they deserve to get second place purely off the back of that play.
Oh, I agree 100%. It was such a nice play. There you go. You see it there. And just as that circle closes up as well, it was really, really nice to see that timing come through. They know exactly what they're doing, and it's going to give them 12 points, the same as Falcons, right? But just a more even split up of those points. I mean, Falcons getting 2 placement points, but 10 eliminations. It's just too little too late, unfortunately, for them, I feel, at this stage. And 9Z as well, 17 points again. Where was this sort of performance from them yesterday? We would have loved to see that, but, you know, one more game left to go. It's all looking a little too late now.
Well, you know, talking about 9Z, cool. Alter Ego getting points, Influence Rage getting points, Flash getting points. Guess who we're not seeing here? No Weibo. No inner circle. And that is not good. That does not bode well. Going into the final match, match 12 of Last Chance. And you go inner circle, 2 points. Weibo, 3 points. Even Wolves, only 3 points. And you know what? Hodjukes, I'm sorry to say it, but this 3-point game, I think, is the end for Wolves and that run for second place.
I'm going to count out almost the entire lobby, guys. I'm not even going to lie. Going into the last match, I mean, the biggest, I think, upset for me so far has got to be Inner Circle, man. I mean, 6 points in 5 matches is rough, guys. You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 matches, right? Because they went off in Rondo, and then all of a sudden, they're in first place. They're sitting so pretty, but to put up 6 points, Neptura, and the next 4 is gotta hurt.
Don't remind me, I'm gonna cry. No, Inner Circle, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them. They feel so slow, like they're indecisive. Like there's not a whole lot of backup. We saw a crate. Okay, hang on. Okay, 79 to 93 to 91. Inner Circle have to come out so big in this match now because that gap has gotten so astronomically bigger. Alter Ego back on top with 93. Weibo somehow still here 2 points away, but man, it's so close towards the top 4.
I'm going to bring up something that could be kind of scary for Weibo. They don't have a single chicken dinner. Tiebreaker, they instantly lose it. If they don't win the last game, they lose that tiebreaker by default. So Weibo, got to be careful. That win is going to be very important. But yeah, Inner Circle slipping down very slowly but surely. But the point gap is so small, guys, right? I don't know if you would agree, Neptura Hodjukes, but it's so small. We could literally have a world where in this last game, Alter Ego and Weibo both get pushed out of top 2. That is how close it has been the entirety of today's matches.
No, you're absolutely right. It's entirely possible, Jukes. I mean, Flash had a really good game that last Miramar that we just had. Influence Rage have been stepping up in the last few matches. Weibo, I'm on the fence on because they consistently get to the top 7, and then once they get there, it's like they fall apart completely. I don't like how they played that last Miramar at all. Alter Ego seem to be the only ones who, when they're allowed to, you know, loot peacefully, they seem to have a consistent game. So for me, Alter Ego, the only one's consistent so far today.
Look at that. Redox putting up 8 eliminations. Tons of damage here towards the end. Good to see some signs of life for some big players here. You know, as we get into the last game, though, guys, let's get super serious, all right? I want ultra realness for last chance. Going into this last game, Max, what do you feel is gonna could happen? You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the top squads, which teams do you think could possibly take the top 2? With everything you know about going into the last game, what do you think?
Also, you want my predictions right now? You're asking for predictions for top 2. Okay, my prediction: Ultra Ego, Influence Rage. I think Influence Rage have been just going super hard on these final games. They are just taking every fight they can get involved into, and I think that's going to be enough to just push them in. They just, what is that, 5 points away from top 2? I think Influence Rage might just make it happen here on this last game.
You think Inner Circle can do it, Neptura?
I hope so, but honestly, I'm not entirely hopeful. I feel like Flash have a better opportunity of sneaking in last game. We saw them just leave the top 3 in the group stage in the final game. In the final game, I think here, they could definitely make it into the top 2. They're 4 points, 5 points away from Weibo. Weibo have not been consistent. I think it could be AE and Flash.
Every single part of me wants to believe we could see a crazy big game from Inner Circle. Hey, all right. He's like, we're going to the finals. We're going to the finals.
I love how just we're like, there's so much pressure in this lobby.
So much pressure. And just like, we got this, baby. We got this. And honestly, I think they do. I mean, just seeing the last game, the pressure is so incredible, right? So many teams know it's over, right? For sure.
Yeah.
There's still squads that could, I think obviously it's going to be Influence and Flash to possibly steal the top 2 points. Inner Circle, it would be a hero, like literally a historic comeback if they could do it. Considering everything they got going against them here. Am I right to think that, Max?
I wouldn't call it a historical comeback, but definitely a big comeback, right? They've definitely been topsy-turvy. They've had highs, they've had lows. That's the thing with Inner Circle. Their highs are so high, like that Rondo game, and their lows in the previous 4 matches, very, very poor performances. So Inner Circle, they need to bring one of their top-tier games in if they want to qualify. We know they can do it, but they're not making any funny faces. So I think they're locked in right now.
I hope they're locked in a good way and not locked in, oh my god, it's the last game, what are we going to do, because that is not what we want here. I think at this point, they're far enough away where I'm kind of like, they should just go, hey, we don't really have much to lose here. It's 1 game left. We're just going to play our game and deal with it. I think, honestly, that's the way they have to go for the final match here. They can't let that pressure get to them at all, Juice.
Well, here we go. No mercy, no resets, no second chances. Here we go to the scorched earth of Miramar for one final stand.
One more time. Let's see. Are we going to change the tune of the top 2? I feel like if there's a day to do it where we change our standings, it might just be today. Right now, Alter Ego and Weibo atop the pack, but it is teetering, it is tottering, it is ready to fall at the slightest breeze. And let's see who's going to be able to put on a Gale Force performance.
Last game, last chance. Really is the last chance now for some of our squads. Alter Ego looking a little bit more relaxed with it coming into this final game. Weibo a little bit more nervous. They were pipped to the post on the final match of their game here on Miramar as well. Can they break the curse? Can Inner Circle get a massive chicken dinner here to get in? Can Influence Rage show us more of that aggression we saw over on Erangel?
Oh, it's all to play for now. Things are getting serious. Alter Ego might have been smiles before it, but you can bet they have furrowed brows aplenty on side right now. As they're dropping out, no teams going for hot drops. You don't imagine maybe some trouble around loops, but no, we're going out to the west side for the final map here, over towards Monte Nuevo, over towards Ladriera, those Chumacera Hills on the south cut of the circle. That's where our teams are going to have to end up.
Actually could be a great game for Weibo. They have a very strong hold. West Ladriera, Falcons and Wolves just going at it at the start of the game. The Wolves, This is painful.
This is really painful. As Doran will go down, will get knocked, so will Baton. Now Valo is traded off, and now Ralph has the backup. Koa and Redox moving in to try and isolate the fight, but Igor crosses. Koa crosses him back. Flashes down, and Coops looking for the flushes, however. Look at a stand tall for the roster. Their last chance to put up points, and it is just Coops now remaining. Most people may have said that it is always just Coops, but he's still putting on a show and looks for more, giving them the runaround. The Falcons now flagging Koa versus Coops. A potential for both of these two squads to be done and dusted. It's Coops to tag on first, steps out wide, and the Wolves fall down. It is Falcons to stay alive, but the Wolves will not make it. North America, once more, brushed aside.
Cannot believe the Falcons just kill Wolves' run. I don't know whether that's funny or really, really, really sad. I mean, for the Wolves, they needed a massive chicken dinner anyway. So to be honest with you, the fact that they can't win that fight out versus the Falcons, that would have been the first test, regardless. But yeah, unlucky. Unlucky. We're going to head over towards that western side, like I said. But yeah, as I was saying, Weibo have a very strong hold on Ladriera. It's a fantastic spot for them. And with the circle the way it is, that feels like a Ladriera finish. So see how quickly Weibo get a move on.
So definitely needed to get out in front of things, if you can, with the points standing as they do. And now Gen.G trying to move on past on its north side. I mean, it is too late for Gen.G. 39 points, they're not going to make it, but the Falcons... well, it's too late for them as well. They've got 4 points, but only 2 players. And no prizes right now. It is an unhappy end for them. Loops, the only team in Montenuevo. I mean, there is the most distant. There is the most outside of chances that Loops could make it. But it needs like 22, 23 Elim chicken dinners in order for them to do it. And yeah, I don't know if that's going to be on the cards. With enough teams just taking chunks out of each other, like we've seen, I don't think that number of Elims is going to be available to anyone.
Yeah, for Arcred Loops, that's like game of the year level. For Alliance, Inner Circle, way more believable. Like, I think for Inner Circle, doable. Alliance, believable. But it really is that top 5 that is fighting out for the top 2. With only 2 points to sit between Alter Ego and Weibo. It's a crazy finish. It's a crazy finish for our day here. And Miramar always is a really slow start. So it does give us a little bit of that tension to go off. Influence Rage currently looking to rotate past La Cobreria on that top side, wrap down on the west, similar to Gen.G. But Weibo's very slow to this, which is curious to me. Usually they're very fast towards the center of this circle. I think that this is almost a change of playstyle from Weibo to more of an edge sweep, considering I think what they've seen today is a lot of teams trying to go for center.
I wonder if there's going to be a lot of adjustments like that in this last game, though. Because it is, as you said, the last opportunity, and teams have kind of been feeling the heat so far today, so that could be a widespread adaptation at the moment. We'll have to wait and see just what unfolds here, but last match is a sobering experience, and maybe it's going to knock some sense into some of our IGL calls and some of our player calls coming on in. The rotations may get tidier just by virtue of the fact this is their last chance to do them.
I don't think it's even the rotations being untidy. It's a case of teams having to force center because they know they need a big game. And what's the best way to do that is to try and confirm a central position early, get some strong shots out towards the side. I think in my head, the reason that Weibo isn't going for this initial push here and has been playing more towards the edge all day is because they've been much more safe than a lot of our other squads. For Weibo, obviously, much more safe means 4 points ahead of the Flash. And 5 ahead of Influence Rage. And yeah, you're just hoping that they make mistakes here. For Weibo, that's not like a confirmation on a finals ticket, but it is the safer of the two.
It's still no real safety on either approach at this point. For anyone, could all come crashing down. Alter Ego on the south side, near to Arc Red. still leaving Puerto Paraíso. I mean, if Alter Ego go down early, right, that is big, big news. Weibo as well. It's one of those top 2 that falls. That is a massive opening, right, for those teams that sit just beneath the surface. Influence Rage now sending down the western side on the western road, close. A wide Gen G split right now. Okay, I thought that was under Influence Rage, but it was a Burmese ghoul. Don't worry, he's going back to the grave. Unknown ends his tournament.
Yeah, unfortunate. PK currently on our screens. They had a good start today, like you're saying, John, for the Flash. They're looking to finish off Baw's run right here and now, and also earn themselves some cheeky points. Themselves further up the tables. Only 88. Alter Ego very much in the blue right now. Rotating close to Arcred. That's a very dangerous team to be rotating close to. I think their gun power is fairly strong. That's not an easy fight. No matter where Arcred is placing on the tables, I still think that they are a difficult team to go 4v4 against.
Absolutely. Next circle's coming on in as well. You could see Alter Ego there. 90 Globe and down towards... I mean, there is a prison on there as well, so maybe they're having flashbacks. North Circle shift... Well, not really North Circle shift, but keeps Chumacera in. Weibo Gaming and Inner Circle. This is an opportunity here to make yourself a little bit of a legacy. Extend your leg room, lean back the seat, and maybe claim one of those top 2 spots, because those are the 2 teams sitting dead central on the north boundaries of Chumacera.
So stressful. Circle moves over towards that northeast side. That's very rough. Bawz, though, finding Zeus. Very bad news. On 3 now for Flash. At this early stage of the game, that is really distressing for them. Alter Ego on a weird rotate for them as well on that south side. Still making the way through. 9Z Globen. They're on that south side. They have eyes on. They will be chasing, stalking Alter Ego through this circle. Snape is late behind, but looks like at least Rosemary has eyes on.
He's spotted at least 2. He knows there's a team leaving from the Partona Island on the south, from Minas del Sur. And we'll be able to fold back. So a little bit more information gathered. And Alter Ego managed to dodge past the first obstacles. The blue zone still tagging at Snape a little bit, but he should be safe onto his north flank. And they're going to move into the position over Chumacera, but getting through or around Chumacera is going to be difficult for them. Weibo don't need to do that. And that is a huge advantage to be in the center of the circle already. But the concrete, it's fairly isolationary right now.
Weibo's still on this eastern side, and it's fine. It's fine. For Alter Ego, on the other hand, there's a lot riding on them. I'm surprised they don't really feel that much pressure, because it's about time Bigatron was allowed to pass the torch of the most dominant Indonesian team we've seen since then. And I think this Alter Ego certainly looks like it to me. They absolutely look like it. Getting into grand finals, I think at that point they can lift that torch. We'll see how well they can do here, as they have pretty much slipped unnoticed on the south side of Minas del Valle over towards the south side of Chumacera. Doesn't look bad. Really doesn't look bad for them.
Little boy creeping up. Rafinha knows all about it, though. In the watchtower, he is vigilant. And Rafinha, I mean, Neil Zada pulling some stunts over on the sand dunes in the distance, and little boy maybe more preoccupied with that. Rafinha has a nade in hand, and he knows this roll-up's coming in. I don't think they quite will know exactly who it is, though. 9Z Globen, they're moving out to the east side. Blank, the next circle's coming through in about 10 seconds. The west side for the Falcons and Alliance could get a little bit messy. It's one of those long arms of the Ladriara Hills. But both teams not really in a position to do much. Well, Alliance, to be fair, with a big game, definitely could. But it is very much an outside chance.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like I said, for Alliance, it's believable at best that they make it in. Redux gets taken down by Gen G. And Flush leaving one player alive now for the Falcons in co-op. This is bad news for Influence Rage. You're losing a player again for both the Flash and Influence Rage. Oh, no. Dear me. That's another...
Dragged down by Loops. their countrymen. The pain inflicted, personal at this point, and now Loops are looking to try and convert for a couple more points, but Federal is on the hunt at range. Vitin is knocked, is flushed now as well. Barato Boy runs down Law, breaking all sorts of speeding regulations there. Going over the course of his countrymen again, over to Federal. There's the spot they were looking for, and Influence Rage are drawing to a close. The sunset on their ascension is here. One player off on a mission. Diego, with not much more he could do, but let's hope, let's pray that he can find it.
At least we can say no collusion.
Very true.
But that is horrendous. That is horrendous. I'd be big mad. I would be big mad of the game. But them's the rules. Them's the rules.
That's nasty stuff, though. Diego as a solo, I mean, Loops are almost certainly coming down this angle as well. May very well be that they're on the hunt entirely. Weibo now with Arc Red to their south. Potential for Arc Red to want to push on in as well. But they may actually prefer to go through Chumacera, go a little bit further west. Weibo are really balled up in this one, so a difficult crash if they want to go for it. Not likely to be super third-partied, though.
Again, we've had some pretty messy fights towards the beginning of this match, and it's starting to slow down again a little bit. It really is going to start to pop off as we get through to stage 5, stage 6. Most teams are way more concerned with getting those higher placings, so they're less likely to go for these pushes. Now, Arcred again versus Weibo. Another fight that I think that Arcred could win. Especially with Sook making some weird rollout over towards the blue. Some apparent reason.
I mean, I guess he knows what he's doing. He's taking the ridge side on the road line to try and get an angle on towards Arcred, who are kind of leapfrogging Weibo here. The next circle going to be popping in as well. Looking at Papra Supermassive in the middle of this one. Doing pretty well on that spot, but nobody else really. It's the west side of Chumacera that holds the balls right now that Alter Ego may look to try and take from them. And it looks like Alva's already making inroads.
Alter Ego on that south side. It's not a bad spot to play as well. A little bit of high ground, a little bit of low ground to work with as you push through. A lot of central spots. Good shot from Sue. This is why he's in the blue. Oh my goodness me. It's actual mega mind.
Bit of a god gamer coming through.
What the hell's going on?
He's getting the angles, man. But now he's trapped out of the blue, and I wonder if Arcred are going to take the fight to him, or Weibo are just going to crash them down and not even let them take a second look over towards Souk, because they're hopping out, they're dropping order, and Hero's back into the driver's seat. The blue zone survivable still, and they're going to make the most of it. Weibo chewing down, trying to close the gap. They're now neck and neck with Alter Ego on the points tallies, and they haven't taken a knock just yet, but that changes as there's a threaded shot through from Ramses on the high ground to 33Z. Hero trying to keep this under control. Order heals up and needs Ramses to go down. Souk's still chiming in, but he's down as well. Weibo maybe drawing short. Order challenged. Oh, it's all up to Hero now against Hardboy, and he will not do it. Ramses is there as well over the top, and Weibo fall in second place. They are under threat now of teams pushing past them. A minimal gap here for Team Flash, who are in their own fight.
Means what I'm saying is Arcred, you could lose that fight. And Souk is just taking weirdo plays. Time and time again. It looked cool. It looked great, but the rest of the team not able to step up. I think 33Z's had a terrible day today. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think 33Z's had a terrible day today. Souk and Order trying to do so much to keep Weibo in. I think if they go out, that I'd be a little bit mad, honestly.
Well,
they still have a chance. Flash need to go out now.
They definitely do. So do Influence Rage and Inner Circle and Alliance as well. Goodness me. Falcons go down. That's their tournament over. Really not what we hoped to see from this roster. But we'll see them next year, I hope so. We'll have to wait to see if they can repair the damage that's been done. Now we're over to Inner Circle. Again, another one of these teams chasing. Up against Gen G. Gen G trying to flank out wide. IQ under threat. Does manage to dodge back. The nades will pour on through. Satan versus Falak up the top of the hill. Quick, going for the bolster. Back towards the center area. Claws is on the off angle for them. And at long range, Falak lands the nade though. And for Inner Circle, with Weibo going down with Flash on 3, Influence Rage on 1, they could break the boundary here. Quick now getting hunted down, and Falak is on the warpath. Desperate to put Pakistan on the global stage.
Great shots, great nades. Falak once again just popping off. For Weibo, like you said earlier, John, no chicken dinner. They are absolutely dismantled when it comes to the tiebreaker. For the Flash, it looks like they have no contest either on that western side. I think it's about 5 more teams before we start getting to placement points.
Ooh.
Imagine getting beaten out by 1 point again.
Oh, that would be so bad. That would be so bad. That's a real career shaker of a situation if it comes to it. Inner Circle, sorry, still trying to chase it down. Loops could potentially crash onto Flash. They've already done it to Influence Rage. Maybe they are the dream shatterers. As Falak charges in. Burst through the door. Claws, though, goes down to the nade from the off angle. Where's that shot come through, though? It's Loops again. Oh, I thought maybe they go to Team Flash, but no, it's Inner Circle. Oh, no.
They're broadside as well. This is bad. This is very bad for Inner Circle. T24, I don't think he's getting back up again. Ratto Boy has oversight over towards this. Not a bad nade coming through from Neil Zada. Doesn't quite go far enough. Just bobbles in. T24 getting flushed. We'll find it. That drops Inner Circle down to 3, and their chances are dwindling now. Noki's going to have to leave the vehicle, abandoning Falak to just try and escape with burnt rubber on the ground.
Looks like Falak may be able to thread it through here and actually moving up close to Team Flash, who are now just 4 points shy of Weibo. 4 more points and they get second, but they are not safe even if that happens with so many teams behind them still alive and kicking. We're going to try and put points up on the board. Loops have been an absolute terror to the teams at the top. Then in a circle, they take another one. Noki is down. That's flushed out in the open. And with 2 players in a circle, do manage to find a little bit of sanctuary.
In my mind, that's GG for Inner Circle. Unless we can pull a Zuxi, it's not happening. It's really not happening. But for Inner Circle, I think for Pakistan, that might be the end of the run there. Just a little bit sad, to be quite frank. Diego becomes neighbors. Alongside Inner Circle, 4th, 5th on the tables. Flash biding their time. Next circle will push them out, though, likely. Right?
Oh.
But there aren't many angles looking their way.
I mean, I was looking at Alter Ego, and 90 Global were actually sending in. I thought that the backstop for Alter Ego was going to get caught out, but they regroup away from it. They're 2-2 right now, up and down, Loops. Playing the foothills beneath them. PK, Burmese Ghouls. Having a scrap on the northern edge. No one really going to flex out for the third party on this. Potential for Inner Circle to steal away a point or 2 if they can get a shot over towards Burmese Ghouls. But we'll see if they can do it. Rosemary has been spotted, and that is what I was waiting for. 90 Globen crashing over. Alva's low as well. Are we going to have 2 teams on 93 drawn a little bit short? That could open the door for a lot more manipulation on the tables towards the final moments. Snape with the door shut, slammed in the face of Loops, who have moved up as well. A fight on 2 fronts to keep themselves alive. They do have Weibo behind them, but that's not going to be comfortable. Alva is down and Loops bearing down upon them. Every team at the top of the tables has taken a tussle with Loops, and they have all been found lacking so far, and more nades pour on in.
Seems like Loops is the final sword in the stone, right? If you cannot pull through Loops, you weren't meant to be the king at the top anyway. Krypton heads out, finds the first, but the shots from behind from 9ZG. I think this is Alter Ego going down on 93 points, tied up with Weibo. Oh my goodness me. And those silly faces really do feel silly now.
I mean, this is so huge. For Team Flash, this is a massive opportunity, Blank. 2 teams now sit before them. It's Weibo who will be pushed out first. The question for me is not is anyone going to overtake Alter Ego? It's who's going to join Team Flash up in the top 2 on this match. I mean, the placements are kicking in soon. They are 4 points behind on the bubble. I'm not sure about the tiebreakers right now either. But 9Z Globan looking to try and slow them down. The teams at the top can't do it. Maybe a team from underneath can. Loops causing all sorts of havoc. Can Loops make it? No,
they can't. No. They need so much more, right? Yeah, they need a 23-point game to have a chance.
Ooh.
So 23 elim game, sorry, and a chicken dinner to verify. It's not
in the
possible.
midst of all of that.
Yeah.
And, I was going to say, in the midst of all of that, Inner Circle did go down. They are dropping to no players left. And that will be the end of their run. In the midst of Loops, taking a tag team fight with Alter Ego.
This feels very dangerous for the Flash. Pretty open area, but right now, Alliance is still sharing a building with Papara Supermassive. But yeah, we are looking to get towards placement. Nico finally flushed out. The Alliance can step forward now. Flash is spreading across this zone, looking to hold out Alliance as they move in. But it's Geeky to find win from the Flash.
Oh, no. Team Flash maybe just being pipped to the post here. 2 players still alive. At 4 points, Blank, it's so achievable. They only need 3 at the moment to be able to jump up. They lose the tie. They win the tiebreaker, rather, with Weibo. So they would be in top 2 if they're able to jump up there with 1 chicken dinner already on the cards. But it is the balls to go down next. And the placements start to add up. Team Flash have been spotted again. They're so close, Blank. 3 points is all they need. And desperately, they'll cling to life with Tops the last to go. Diego as well, looking to do the same thing. A little bit further, they need to find. But Tops is on the dash. Geeky, can they even step forwards here against Arcred? Against 9Z Globan? It's down in the bush. He is feeding on absolute scraps right now. Tops, desperate.
This is so rough for Tops. I think 9Z Globan might have an angle on him shortly from his south side as well. Diego might be able to take shots too. It might be down to placement points, John. It might be down to placement points, but I don't see him living that long.
I mean, Diego might.
Maybe he does.
Diego might, and Tops might. Oh, this is crazy stuff coming on through. 3-point gaps needed to be made on up. That's 4 points on placement total.